That's right. You don't have to, yeah, you don't have to incriminate yourself, don't worry. It's called Order City for Richey City Council Workshop, Monday, August 18th, 2025. I stand for pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Clerk, have roll, please.
Mayor John Eric Hoover,
Here.
Vice Mayor Chris Mayer,
Here.
Councilman Robert Hubbard,
Here.
Councilwoman Lisa Burke. Let the record show that Councilwoman Lisa Burke is absent from today's meeting. Councilwoman Christine Sullivan. Here. City Attorney Nancy Meyer. Here. City Manager Andrew Butterfield.
Here. Okay, thank you. First up is comments from the general public. I do not see any general public in the audience. Is there anybody online? No. Okay, nobody online, so we'll move on to comments from the city manager. I pass it to Mr. Butterfield for any comments again.
Yes, sir. Both of these topics precede my time here, so you may be more familiar than me even, but it's to address the amendments to the Port Richey sign code, which hasn't had an update in the better part of 2 decades, and amendments to the Waterfront Overlay District sign code.
Okay, perfect. Nothing else? Okay. And moving on to council business, item number 1, amendments to the Port Richey sign code. Actually, Andy just gave a little bit of introduction there, but I'll go ahead and expound upon it. Obviously, our sign code, like I said, hasn't been modified in a long time. I know there's been several issues with signs over the course of that time, and obviously we had this on the agenda to discuss. It's been through planning and zoning, who had some discussions and have made some recommendations. Nancy as well has made some adjustments based on and whatnot. And so obviously the sign code is very large. I think we have how many pages of whereas clauses before we even get to the actual. Okay. Okay. So, but I think it was worth a workshop to go through kind of line by line to just make sure that there's not anything else we need to change, modify, add, whatever. And I think it'd be a good exercise to kind of go through that over the next couple hours and really get that lined up, and then we can get that back into planning and zoning, I guess.
Yep.
Or that
they have recommended approval of what's before you. You can approve
the
it as
WOD
is.
stuff is what we need to go back.
WOD will have to go
Right.
back.
Yeah. So basically, we can kind of put this together and give Nancy direction on any changes, or whatever. She can write that final ordinance up, and then we take it to a first reading. Okay. So, with that being said, did you have anything to add?
So if I may have to start, I'll let you know. You can see there's a lot of different colors also within the red lines. They're not all just red. The red is my colleague, Attorney Eschenfelder, who did the main editing for this. He's kind of the sign code guy, among many other titles he has at our firm. He does a lot for us. But he is kind of the expert in this area. So he did the main revisions to bring the code up to standards based on this relatively recent Supreme Court cases. But he also did some tweaks based on other cities and things that they have asked. So some of this we can definitely modify. Some things you might not be able to, but we'll address those as we go through. The other colors, I think there's both blue and green. Again, I don't know exactly why there are that many different colors. Those are the edits that happened within P&Z and myself. So the red is what was the initial presentation, and then the tweaks are most likely P&Z, maybe some typos if I found a couple typos, but that kind of gives you the idea of where all these different colors came from and why it looks the way it looks right now.
Okay, perfect. So the red is all work that your firm did,
Yes.
and if it's crossed out, it was taken out,
Yes.
and if it's not crossed out, it was added.
Added, correct.
Okay, let me. Can you turn on sharing for me, Ashley? So I'll just go ahead and pull it up as we go down and follow along here.
Bless you.
If you all follow along in your packets, I'll give you the page. So obviously, we're going to roll down through all the whereas clauses. I don't think we need to really
No.
deal with
And
any of that.
that's Attorney Eschenfelder just kind of covering why you're making the changes and explaining that it's catching up with the Supreme Court.
Okay. So starting on page 16, where we talk about signs, This is pretty much just kind of laying out the purpose. This is a green thing in the event of any provisions of chapter of conflict with other rights use the more restrictive. Is that something
That's
they plan on?
normal. No, I think that's something from Rob. I don't know why that's.
Okay.
Maybe I had to restate it or something, but that's a normal provision just to it goes in there.
Okay. And then moving on down to page 17, we have the applicability. States it doesn't regulate signs located entirely inside the premises of a building in closed space and that are not visible from the right of way or public parking lot. So I did have a question about that when I went through. So what this is saying is if I got a very large storefront window and I have a sign within my establishment, if it's visible from the road or right of way, it would apply.
Yes.
And I think I have an issue with that right off the bat. We should, and I think maybe the premise here is that if it's at the window, meshed up against a window where you can see it, but you could technically drive by a large window that's open. You could see desks and stuff in there, and you could see an internal sign. And all of a sudden, we're starting to regulate inside the business. So I have a concern with that. Any thoughts on that? Do you guys agree with that? So obviously, that's something that's added by the firm. Is there?
Let me read the language.
So what was the concern? Not the size, but I guess the.
Well, the minute that what this says is that if you can see it inside your establishment from the right of way or the public road, then all of a sudden the code can regulate what's inside your business. And so then the sign sizing and all that would probably count towards your signage and all. It becomes very easily, depending on the visibility within your establishment, somebody can start picking on you.
Okay, so you're talking about 121-2
Yeah.
applicability. It says this chapter does not regulate
Right.
signs
And so-
located entirely.
Exactly. So basically what it says, it does not regulate that are not visible. So all I'm saying is if they are visible, then it is regulated.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Lines are
Well,
not visible. Is visible.
but they're not visible. So if they're not visible, we're not.
Well, if they're not visible, they're not regulated. But they are visible, they are regulated. And so
Right.
basically what I'm saying is if you have a sign inside your establishment and it is visible, it's regulated. And that's the problem I have.
Well, we don't.
We should be
we don't-
regulating
we don't say
signs
it's not-
inside.
It's not on here. You just wanted to say if it's visible.
Well, I think we need to
Just remove
make
the
that, it
ending.
doesn't matter if it's visible or not. If it's inside your premises, we don't regulate it, would be my thing.
Could
But
end it in closed
I
space,
think the problem
period.
you're going to run into, and I can talk to Rob and see if there's some way to address it, but I think the problem you're going to run into is that someone's going to maybe not put it as a window sign, but it's going to be a window sign trying to get around the sign requirements. And that's,
Well,
you
If
don't want
if
that.
that did happen, what's the harm? Well, if the sign was within the building, what is the harm to the public?
Depends on
If
depends
it's
on,
Depends on what it says.
we can't regulate
You can't
content.
control, content.
Contents, you can't do anything about. You can do size, location, number of signs. You
Even
can't
if
regulate
it's
content.
even if it's vulgar.
You can't regulate content.
so let's just say,
Don't worry about that content part right now.
let's just say you drive by an establishment with a very clear window, blinds are open, you can see inside their waiting room, whatever, and they have a sign that says anything, right? That's if it's visible from the road and you can see it and read it, then that becomes by this chapter a sign that is regulated by the code, and that's not the intent. But that's what happens when you write these things. You got to be very careful on how you word that because somebody, code enforcement officer, could be standing out in front of your establishment, looking and say, "Well, you've already got a sign there, and it's too big. It exceeds the 6 square foot. Depending on what kind of sign it is, how it would be regulated." But the problem is we shouldn't be regulating anything within somebody's establishment.
I agree.
I'll talk to Rob and see how we can tweak that language. I see what he's getting at, but I also see what you're getting at. So let me.
Yeah.
I made a note.
Thanks. So let me, since I'm on my page here, highlight that.
So, I mean, the idea behind signage to the business is to bring people to their establishment so they can profit from it. That's the idea. Now, we don't want to start shutting down those things. They'll go to some other city where they don't get shut down.
Right.
And they'll be
That's
taking
my
their dollars
concern.
somewhere else.
Right.
You know, which is
And
what this
with-
is being
Well, this
listed.
Struggling to
statement,
keep,
this statement's anticipating not that kind of sign. This is talking about if you have a sign in your business, you know, have a nice day, or, you know, eat more oranges, whatever. It's not about the sign on the street advertising your business. It's kind of like saying if you have something indoors that can't be seen, the sign code itself doesn't regulate it. Something else might regulate it. Something else might be relevant. But the sign, like, you know, hey,
We use this, for example, back in 1925. If we had a storefront window right there, big open windows you could see in, they could see us in your accounts chambers, they could see a sign. All of a sudden, because it's can be viewed from public right of way, that sign is regulable. Can you regulate it?
I understand.
I've just been in communities.
Well,
where
that doesn't fit in the
over-
not visible though. They're saying not visible. That would
That would be-
If it is visible, it's regulatory.
so it does
Regulate.
not
Right.
regulate if it's not
So you
visible,
think it
but
shouldn't
it
be-
does
If they
regulate
can't see it, then
is
you're right.
visible.
They can't regulate.
So if you think they can see it, it still shouldn't be regulated.
That's exactly right.
That's what you're thinking. Okay.
So if you can see it, should we be regulating somebody's internal business signs? The answer is no.
So you don't want to
My
take the
The
not
visibility is
visible
not a good. It's not a good differentiator.
out. Okay.
If it ended at enclosed space and everything else was removed,
Chris, yes,
sir.
it would be
Right.
how it should read, really.
That's not a big deal.
Do you have something, Chris? You said?
I did. Give me a minute.
Okay. And I could, for example, over by the Chamber of Commerce, there's a church. What's her name? Escapes me. But anyway, they've got some signage right there inside the window. So if you're staying on the road, you can actually see in there and see that. And so that becomes something that we would have the potential to regulate, which would be a bad thing.
Okay, we'll get some new language.
Still any time?
Next, are we on the next?
Did you have something? Good. Good. Okay. So obviously here, we'll just go through the rest of these. Not regulate. Obviously, we don't have regulate objects that are not considered a sign. All right. Signs posted as no trespassing in the manner provided by Florida statutes, and then any government sign placed by or at the direction of or through the permission of the city in blah 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 blah. Yeah. So I think all this is all good.
What on C, signs posted as no trespassing are not regulated, but what if those no trespassing signs are attached to a tree in the right of way, which we get into later in here?
So basically, this refers to Florida Statute 810 and whatever the rules are there on
Right,
that.
which
I don't know.
Yeah.
off the top of my head.
I made some notes about this last night, but I don't recall.
Inflatable signs or devices.
We're gonna get to those. Those are down because the next section is this. Yeah, it is 121.3 signs specifically prohibited. So we're gonna go through those and talk about each one of those. See if it's. We'll keep those in mind.
Signs on trees really shouldn't be a thing either. Right? Signs on trees.
Yeah, that's later on.
And that's addressing it too.
Those are prohibited, but with these no trespassing not being regulated, if you had a no trespassing sign in the right of way attached to a tree or something, then you maybe have a conflict of rules.
She's got the statute up now, so you can.
And I know of one of those, so that's why.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, it's right in front of my house,
Oh, okay.
plain sight, and it's not mine.
Code enforcement can
But I
take over
don't.
that.
I don't really like that. But it's very
Signs nailed to trees.
nailed to the tree and in the right of way.
You want me to pull up here too? I could probably do that.
And I'm reading quickly, but it does say, so it's 810.01158.2, posted land upon which the signs can be placed. A conspicuous no trespassing notice is painted on trees or posted on the property, provided the notice is. And it gives them some requirements, so that maybe depending if they've met those requirements, it can be on the tree. It may not meet those requirements that it lists, and it may not be appropriate. And that would be something for our code enforcement to look at. So
Okay. Okay, so we don't
But we
need to.
can't-
We don't need to revise.
we
the-
can't-
Okay.
for this particular sign, we can't do anything different than what the statute allows
Right.
us.
We can't make it more restrictive. We should be able to.
So you can usually make it more, not less, depending on what the language is. Sometimes they prohibit it completely. I'm just reading one section, so I'd have to verify. But you definitely can't do less. So that particular one, we might want to look at and see if it meets the requirements for that sign. I'm sure Pat would be happy
Are
to
you
know.
talking about it, whether it be on private property or in the right of way? Because if it's in the right of way, it's
Can't be in the right of way.
compliance. Yeah, it is in the right of way.
But again, I don't know if they allow it to be in the right of way in 810.
Let me look at it. Let me look at 810
Yeah.
and you and I will talk about that and we'll get.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to
Yeah.
make this about me. It was just a for example of something that
No,
I
it is.
thought of when I read that.
You good? Okay. Anything else on the other one?
Were you on 121.3?
Well, 121.2. We're getting ready to go 3 in a minute. The last one was D. Any government sign placed by or at the direction of or through the permission of the city in or on or over any city, county owned or controlled property of the right of way, including signs approved by the city on authority of development or concession agreement or an event co-sponsorship agreement with the city. This basically says that, basically if the city's doing it or they got some kind of agreement or whatever allowing it, it's not regulated. So I'll go with that. So moving on to section 121.3. These are signs that are specifically prohibited or not allowed. And any sign not specifically permitted, exempted, or authorized by this chapter is prohibited, provided, however, that an authorized or permitted sign under this chapter is allowed to contain non-commercial speech in lieu of any other speech. The following types of signs are specifically prohibited except as otherwise provided by this chapter. So Nancy, on what it says, however, that any authorized or permitted sign under this chapter is allowed to contain non-commercial speech. So what it's saying is these are only prohibited if they're containing commercial speech.
So these signs are still not currently.
Right.
This list of signs is not allowed. It's talking about other signs which are not included in this list but are permitted. They're allowed as long as it contains non-commercial speech and lieu of any other speech.
So why is that?
That's the Supreme Court cases that change that. It's relevant for commercial and non-commercial speech. They treat it differently.
Can we define a pole sign?
Yes, it is something it's already defined in a different part of your code.
Yeah, so pole signs have been kind of a thing in communities, whatever, are trying to move away from those and do more monument signs or whatever that. I also have a problem with that because really you're going to have some pole structure holding these up, and they're going to be for a long time. And so you got to be careful about outlawing pole signs. I had the same concern.
Well,
I do too.
no, they should be attached to someone's property of a certain size. When you're out by the road, most municipalities are going with marquees, not anything on a pole.
Right.
So I mean, we can
Think about McDonald's, for instance. They can put the big M on the pole.
Yeah, they do marquees now. They don't put them on poles anymore. So
Marquee being what?
marquee is like just a nice box on the ground. It's decorated. It's not on a pole.
Really? McDonald's?
Like
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
monument
what all
sign.
the business Culver's is now.
Okay, yeah.
All of them are. Yeah, it's eliminating. It looks nicer. It's neater. It's landscaped usually, but
I didn't realize that I thought we might be limiting signage for businesses that have had pole signs forever, and
I mean, that's what I'm thinking about.
you know,
We have big
if we
businesses
make
out
it
there
things-
who have had pole
we have
signs.
to bring in businesses to fill these vacant storefronts and such. And if we limit too much, then I'm
Well,
afraid they might go
And I can give you a
elsewhere.
great example. The Catches sign on a pole, right? 2 poles, whatever it is. There's really not the ability to say they built that new. There's really not ability to really get a monument sign there because it's kind of down off of the 19. It'd be great for people who actually drove down in there to buy it, but obviously they have the ability to put their name on the building and stuff that you can see. But as far as their actual sign that they have, that really wouldn't lend itself to a monument type sign because they have to elevate it. So I think there's a different application for pole signs.
they have it on the building.
Right, there's options, but the current way they've done it, they got that pole sign. So if we eliminate those, we take that, you think it catches something being built new. Let's say somebody comes in and bulldozes that and builds something. They'd have to incorporate their sign something other than a monument sign because they don't have that ability to show that to the 19 travelers unless they were elevated and it was kind of part of their building.
Well, they
Whatever.
got that actually they got that sign that says Sun Cruise Casinos on their property. That's the big sign on the pole. The Sun Cruise Casino.
Yes, I think, yeah.
That's on it's on Catch's property, ironically. So,
Right.
but that could be taken down, and you could put a marquee sign out there because they own that property, or even closer to their building on the other side of
I'd have to look at that and see. I know Catch is right there on the corner, and it's as you're coming down off 19. I don't know if they do own that land as you pass them right there. They use for overflow parking or whatever. So I guess my opinion is the most effective sign for that property is what they have now. Is right there.
on their building.
Is this eliminating current signs, or is this talking about future signs?
Well, so first of all, your first question, pole sign is defined in section 101-11. That's where all your definitions are for anything you need a definition for.
They wouldn't read that.
Yeah, but pole sign is a sign independent of support from any building that is mounted on freestanding poles or other supports so that the bottom edge of the sign face is 8 feet or more above grade. So that's the definition. Second question you asked, the pole signs is currently not allowed in the city. Hasn't been. We're not changing that. It's one of the things that's not allowed. Now, obviously they exist all over the city. So that means they're there without the right to be there.
Existing non-conforming.
It's
They were never-
Yeah, right.
Existing non-conforming can still be used, but
Right.
existing
Well,
non-conforming.
But once it's damaged or needs, that whole thing, if it's damaged or needs fixing, was it 50% or?
Once it's damaged,
Yeah.
then it's gone, it
Yeah.
can't come back. So
Right.
It's
Correct.
non-conforming.
It's
Okay.
existing non-conforming, so
But
we
if
don't
you-
make anyone tear them down.
Right.
I got you. Oh, I
They
got
don't-
you.
yeah, they don't-
We don't do away with what's there now.
I
We
understand.
leave it, But yes, existing.
If a hurricane came through and wiped them all to the ground,
That's it.
okay,
They
gotcha.
shouldn't be put back. Now, if you take pole signs out of this list, then of course they can rebuild with them if you want to allow that. And I will say, for those that weren't able to be at the P&Z meetings, this was a topic that was discussed a lot. Keep pole signs, don't have pole signs back and forth, because they recognize, like you do, a lot of people have them, a lot of people are using them. But their conversation, just for you to know, I don't have a preference either way, is that many cities are getting away from them because the marquee sign has just a better appeal, a better look to some people, and that was the thought.
And the state has its signs on a pole, but they'd be better off with a marquee, I believe.
Marquees don't fit in every application.
Right.
Some of these applications, if you throw a marquee in there, you're going to block traffic view, and it's going to cause problems. People seeing
Well,
it.
you don't want to do that. No.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Thing about Hooters, for example, from 19, I don't, with Hooters signage coming down eventually on those billboards are not going to be allowable. How will people know Hooters is back there without them being allowed to have some kind of sign pole? If they just have a marquee cut back there on the Waterfront district like that,
Well, there's
isn't that
a lot of places have this a thought. You go down, travel down the interstate a lot, you see a lot of marquees, and you can see actually big interstate signs on poles too. But they'll have, say, if we're coming just south of Ridge Road a couple blocks, we could have a good spot for a large marquee, Port Richey Waterfront, whatever we call it, next 3 rights. And you can have Hooters, Whiskey Joe's, Catches, and you can have all that on that marquee, the next 3 rights. And as you go down and those businesses, they turn, and then they can have a sign in front of their business on Treadway.
So here's an example.
Digital sign also if they want.
See this sign here? That's a pole sign.
Mhm.
What?
This here's a pole sign. So that's what I'm saying.
It's 8 feet, Eric. Is it the legs that are 8 feet? Is that
That's
the first sign that's 8 feet?
This is a
Because that looks like a big marquee to
that's
me.
a marquee, yeah.
well, no, it's a pole sign.
Well, you can. That's,
Now this here, the Burger King one, obviously is pole sign. No question about that. But
that's a pole sign.
and here's the problem you have in a definition of pole sign is that encompasses a whole lot of things that you aren't interested in getting rid of. This would be a perfect example of that.
I think that's
It's on
nice.
2 poles,
I think
what it
that's a
is.
nice sign
Right.
right there.
I mean, they're nice concrete or whatever, but they're really poles.
That big sign's well, it's on 2 poles, but it's a marquee. You can
It's a pole
you
sign.
can consider that a marquee, the big sign.
If you Google though what a pole sign is, it will show that image and others
Yeah.
like that. I was looking them up last night to see what was what. Um,
Can you guys define?
and that is a pole
I
sign.
looked up marquees for a sign, and it came up like those too.
Yeah, and actually, I think we actually outlaw marquee signs. If I
If you-
remember right, do we? We don't allow marquee signs, do we?
Marquee signs?
No, I think you do.
Those are the modern new stuff. Marquee signs are the new ones.
And so here's your,
Bob's been talking about
I
it.
saw something about marquees.
here's your definition of marquee sign. It's a sign which is attached to
The building.
or hung from a permanent roof-like structure, which is supported by a building wall and which projects out from the building line, usually but not necessarily over a public right-of-way such as a
So
sidewalk.
that's like what Catches has on their building.
Yeah, so all these that you see up there, they're attached to the building. They project out.
I thought a marquee sign was a sign that started on the ground.
It is, yeah. That's well, you can use that. Yeah,
Or is that a
Those are
monument?
those are
Monument.
monuments.
Is that a
Monument sign.
monument?
Yeah, it's monument sign. That's why the
Okay, that's
So
where I was
that
confused. Okay.
big coals and all that. It's not a marquee sign. It's a pole sign because it's for it. The marquee would be attached to the building, which that's obviously freestanding. So,
okay.
See, even
and
this.
so
is-
that's why
even this
that's
is
why I thought it was important to go through these also because
Yeah, we want to understand.
we don't want to
the
outlaw
monument
things that we
sign
don't
and
intend to
marquee
outlaw.
How do you
sign.
get yours to show up on the screen?
You want me to share? You share your screen. You got to be in the Zoom though.
Because here's another night. Well, that
That's
might
a
be
nice sign. That's
that's a mar- that's a
because a monument
that's a
or a
monument.
marquee because it comes from the building.
And
So
I
like
wouldn't pull up
some
a
of the
monument
if
sign.
you go back to yours,
In your city, you call a monument sign a ground sign.
If you look up there, so you see how it's kind of built up a little bit. And
Yeah,
that's a monument sign.
right?
And that,
And I have an example of a monument sign, but I can't share my screen.
Well, here,
But
if you-
It
mine's
says
much-
pole sign and it's not.
Here, Christine, if you go to the city calendar, go to the calendar event of the meeting, click on the Zoom, log into the Zoom session, then you can share, and we can.
Mm.
Yeah, I know.
That's what I said.
while he's doing that, I'll tell you that your city code defines, again, monument sign you call a ground sign. It's any sign other than a pole sign, which is placed upon or supported by structures or supports in or upon the ground and independent of support from any building. The base shall touch the ground and continue to the top of the sign without any openings, and the finish shall be consistent with materials used on the building that the sign serves. The term ground sign includes a monument sign. That's currently how you define
Join.
it.
That's what she's in.
Some of those definitions.
Yes.
There she is
They
there now.
There you
It keeps me,
Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to share.
some do, some
Screen.
do that.
Now
Okay,
you're
but
sharing.
I'm not aware of
You're
what
live.
it is. Okay, so let's
Now,
see.
go to your sign again.
Where was that?
You could get rid of that.
You left me
So
early over
we're
here.
seeing your screen now. So if you just
Uh-huh.
pull up whatever you want to show us.
But it is blocked by this tab.
Click
thing.
down here. That should go away.
This thing.
No, well, just click anywhere
So
there.
this here
So I
is
want to get
blocking
back
your
to Google.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
here. There you go.
So this would be. Oh no, where did that go?
Go back arrow.
It didn't take me to it. Okay. How could I share
There,
this?
we're seeing
Okay.
we see it.
can see
Okay.
it. We can
So
see
this
it.
one up there in the large one in the far right corner.
Yeah.
That would be considered a monument sign, but it has a certain height. So if we could look at restrictions on height, that's nice. That looks nice. So as long as we don't limit things like that, and also if that double pole sign that you showed, was it Lowe's?
Yeah.
Could that become a conforming sign if it had a base like this, which would restrict vision?
If you built a base around the bottom of
Yeah,
it,
if you
kind of
built
fill it in.
around those poles, could it become a monument sign? And then we have to discuss height limitations and whether,
Well, you got variances. Yeah,
Well,
height
and
variance.
again, if you
but variances are only included under one
Why do
circumstance.
we want to
under
limit
this
the
code.
height
Yeah.
of a monument sign at this point here?
well, I don't think that's a conversation. I think how to make a pole sign a monument sign so it don't apply. But I mean, I would argue that what is it about pole signs we want to get rid of, and maybe further define what a pole
The
sign
poles
is where
themselves?
we don't want.
Is it
That
just
way you don't exclude all pole signs. That's
Right.
right. So if you don't want a single pole going up into and have a sign sitting on top of it, you could further define it as that, as opposed to just saying supported by poles. Because at the end of the day, really, anything underneath all those structures or whatever are poles. You can hide them.
right, require a,
Um, and again, myself, you're still going to have them anyway. Changes like this to where we say no pole signs. Maybe the next centennial we have, as things have been torn down or redone or whatever, you might get those changes. So, what's really the point other than 100 years from now, maybe finally eradicate all the pole signs? And again, you're going to drive around places in the country. Are they really that obnoxious? I don't know. That's the question.
Well, it can be. That's why
Can
we're here.
be. So I would say, what is obnoxious, and that's what we want to not have.
Well, if you're coming down, say, to the city, and we have multiple businesses in Waterfront or down Grand, you have your business has a sign there pointing it this way, or you've got another sign here for this business, for this little business. You have a bunch of signs when you can have one large pole sign or monument or whatever, and you can have all the businesses located on it. Turn here, then you can find businesses on those roads, not just on 19, back on those roads. And of course, you have a variance for how much big the signs can be and how high on those businesses.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what you see as you see these big developments where they encompass multiple stores within a property.
Almost like
Of
a
course,
shopping
they would
center.
do that. But
The independent businesses.
the
can't
independent
do that.
businesses would be a part of that. That's part of the that's a lease type arrangement that those stores have, and so they provide the signage for the what's the word I'm looking for the whole center, right?
Right.
So yes, obviously that would. I mean, not every one of those stores in there are going to have their own sign because they don't have that kind of property. But in our case, and other cases, you have individually owned lots, individually owned stores. They're not part of a conglomerate, and so they need to be able to advertise their business. You can't force somebody. You can't force 5 businesses to all
use
get
one
together
sign.
and put a sign together and then put it on there. I mean, that's what you have as things get redeveloped or whatever. You see more of that, and that happens organically. But again, you got to keep in mind that if you buy a business, Bob's Widgets, and you aren't part of that area, and you're in a place where you actually need to get your sign up in the air so you can show people that, hey,
I have widgets here.
Bob sells widgets here. You want to be able to bring them in. If you're going to be business friendly, you got to allow it.
I was leasing a spot from a business, and I could not put a sign up because their variances, they had too much on their property, and they would not allow any more signs. Period.
You were leasing a business inside of where other businesses
Yeah, I was
were?
leasing the dock space behind the Ramada Inn down in Newport Richey.
Uh-huh.
And they had that big interstate sign out there, if you guys know. It was useless, but that ate up a lot of their variance, and then had another monument building on the corner, and then had a sign on their building. And that was almost over the variance of what they were allowed to have.
Mhm.
So I want to put a sign up, or the other businesses there at the marina want to put a sign up. No, a little 8 by 24 temporary sign if you moved it around, but that's all you can put up there.
Right. And that's in effect, obviously, what this sign code
And I understand
does.
the reasoning for it.
Right. So if, do we want to hinder a business that maybe is kind of obscured the ability to put up on a pole a sign? Obviously, it still has to meet all the other things and be nice looking or whatever. It can't be, but is it so bad that to have that if that's something that they need?
Look at the bank sign that Christine's got up there right
what
now.
about
See
if
that?
we require
stone.
that then a pole sign is allowable, but it has a facade at the bottom that covers up the pole and it still looks nice? If for those instances, and you might have to break the code down to instances where they aren't part of a complex or a center, or
You could say, you could say the pole must be enclosed in
right.
some kind of facade, I guess.
I mean, that's no more than a little steel frame with some
Right.
block screwed to it,
Yeah.
Um,
But I mean, it does improve the
but does the
Aesthetic.
pole really take away from
That's-
the
Yeah, is it?
Is
Well, I
is the
mean,
poll really that offensive versus
apparently it is to a lot of people, maybe not us in particular, but apparently the poll is offensive because this is happening all over the United States where poll signs are being eliminated. So,
It's eliminating signs.
yeah.
Because it's too informative. You can't, when you're driving down the road, it's just like, oh, you don't even pay attention to them. There's so many of them. If you
I
have
mean,
something
I
very
don't necessarily
attractive,
agree
it's
with
lit
that.
up.
I'm constantly wanting to know in our city what people do what, so I can start spending money in my city. You know, whether it's a car wash or a cleaners. I mean, I don't know of any dry cleaners in our city right now. I'd like to have a sign that said, "Hey, where's the dry cleaners?" Right there. You know.
There's a lot of shorts and tank tops here, so it might not be so successful.
You know, I like this is a over exaggeration of something, but obviously we've all been to Las Vegas, right? Right, and that when you go down, you say, "Wow, it's really cool." Now, would you want to live on the Strip in Las Vegas? Obviously not, right? So, but you know, the point I'm making is that you don't want to be so limited. Businesses can't thrive in your area, but you don't want to be so obnoxious that people can't stand to drive through your town. And so, back to your
That's why we're here.
right, exactly.
And I would like planning and zoning to reach out to all the businesses in the city. And they're having
Well, they
a
did.
workshop and get
They were-
ideas
they
from
were invited.
businesses.
And some people showed.
Yeah, we
and
have.
what they want to do, and then we need to put in. This is what we allow to have.
Well,
We can.
for the most part, all that came up was digital signs.
Yeah.
Right,
my
well,
memory.
and
But we had a good group.
And that's important. But I think, like I said, if we had, what we want to do is get a sign to promote. It's not a big area. The Waterfront area is like a shopping center. Or Grand Boulevard will probably be like another shopping center that way. And and I've been to different towns where they'll have a old sign, a monument sign, whatever, with all the businesses turn at this exit.
Mm-hmm.
I did get them to turn off. Oh, look at all this stuff here. Turn off. And you may see you can see the business
When you want to go to, yeah.
and then when you turn off, then they have a digital sign where they're promoting that week, what activity they have going on. They may have another sign, a monument sign, a limited monument
But
sign.
who's going to own and provide that space?
But that is for another discussion. Well, we can discuss it now. I would think the city could do it, or
Could.
the businesses may want to invest in
Get
a
together.
sign together, and you can charge for inserts on that sign.
Do we really
But
have
then
that
you
much
also have to
runway here
define
that we're
that
having to
business
deal with? Because right now, the city of Port Richey is just a little teeny place. And I'm wondering how much we want to overregulate the
Right.
signs right here.
Right.
Right.
It's
Well, and we're lacking businesses as it is, so we want to.
That's what I'm saying. We're
We
lacking
want to
businesses. Do we want to make it
encourage
harder?
Well, you mentioned businesses being invited and all that, so I want you to think like a business, and obviously you can do that because you've had a business, right?
I've not
No.
put signs up with the city and the county
Yeah.
a lot.
So think about you as an individual business owner. Obviously, they're going to comply with whatever the code is. If they have to, if they have to jump through hoops and build a large monument in order to comply, they will. If they are able to put it on a pole and do that, maybe they'll do that. So whatever you do here, they're going to comply with that. Now, if it becomes so difficult to comply, maybe they decide, well, I'm going to go here instead of here.
I'm going to go south. Or
And
whatever,
if this is not a great location because it's going to be difficult for me to advertise because I can't put a pole sign, I'm going to invest all this different things. I'm going to try to get my neighbors together to put together some other property here to turn down here. I mean, think from the individual business owner because at the end of the day, it's individual residents coming to buy property here, individual businesses investing, and whether they're investing in a conglomerate or there's several stores and all that, but they may be just buying a single property like the Thai restaurant or other properties on 19, and they want to be able to advertise that, and they've got all these cars going by there, and if they don't have a sign that can alert somebody that, hey, I can get my donuts here, or I can get my coffee here, or I can get Bob's Widgets here, then they're not going to do well, and they're not going to want to. One, they'll fail, and we want them to thrive, and so we really, it's always my goal is to be as business friendly as possible. I want business to choose Port Richey because they're easier for them to thrive here. They can
Business
advertise
friendly,
business.
Eric. Business friendly.
And focus more on
That's what I'd like to do too.
regulate the
Right.
aesthetics more so than the,
Exact aesthetics.
so that they.
So a pole sign, if the
Look
paint,
at the difference between Texas Roadhouse and Sonny's Barbecue. Sonny's Barbecue sign, I can see how that pole sign is ugly. The Texas Roadhouse sign with that nice bottom.
I don't mind Sundays though. I look at the Sundays and I think that's a mighty fine sign.
Those are
I think it's
interstate
smart,
signs.
You know?
So
Okay.
we're not on an interstate,
Okay,
so we don't need anything high.
right.
we
Well,
need
yeah,
something-
I'm not necessarily saying I like this. I'm just saying one's a
Captures
pole and
the
one
spirit.
has a nice facade on it.
I
So if we focus more on facades,
So if I could say something here.
next.
trying.
Bob,
Okay,
go ahead.
let Bob go. Go ahead.
Bob,
So-
I'll heed you. Go ahead.
So when I was looking to put the advertisement business, get a sign on the road, I went to Newport Richey to find out where we could put a sign to put on that property and what kind of sign we could put on the property. What I came up with was that's like the big sign you had there with two poles, and it had the big sign. It was not real tall, but it was really pretty. It was blue, backlit in blue, with palm trees on each side, and it had Gulf Harbor's resort and marina. So what they had, you had the restaurant, you had Winsome Charter, you had fishing charter signs on there, and Island Paradise Charter on there. $35,000 it cost. I was going to pay for it. I was going to put it on the property. I went to get a permit, and I talked to the owners of the hotel. They didn't want me to do it, which I'm glad they did because they sold the property and would have got tore down. I never got my money out of it anyway. But I wanted signage on the road, and that would have been very enticing for people coming down the road. They see Port Richey Waterfront District, next three rights, big, pretty blue with palm trees that are lit up on each side of it. It looks handsome. Oh, this is nice. This is a nice, clean place here. Let's next three exits. See what this is all about. And you can have businesses located in large Hooters, Ketchup, Rum River, Whiskey Joe's, all on these signs, and even little businesses back in there the developers want to build. You can put those on there, same size as Hooters, so they get the same recognition as Hooters does or Ketchup does. Ketchup has their sign on the building. You'll see after that sign. You'll see Whiskey Joe's from the road and their digital sign and their sign. But the little businesses you don't see, but they get recognition on that sign. Instead of putting individual signs all over the place, well, they won't even get recognized. They'll go right there. That's what, I don't know what the hell that is, but I'm going to buy that. So you have a big sign that looks really enticing. And I see them in the Keys. I see them in different areas where, this is cool. Let's pull over here and see what these are. It's got a restaurant. It's got dry cleaning. It's got tea and herb place, whatever. Just check it out.
Christine, can you leave that up for a minute, please? I want to use that for an
So
example.
that's an option. I'm just throwing out there that I think is good and fair for all the businesses in that area. And like I said, some businesses are going to have an advantage because they got bigger buildings they can put signs on. We need to have a variance for that on how much signage they can put on their property. But they can put a building on a property. Others have only to sign whatever the lease operator of that building allows them to put on the sign. But at least they're getting a sign where they're located and a sign what district they're in, instead of nothing. They have no idea that their business is even that district. So one marquee will be able to see it. Oh, this is cool. They have that kind of business in here too. Let's go check it out. They don't have just restaurants and bars.
Let me ask you a question, Bob.
Yeah.
The sign on the bottom right here.
Right.
What businesses are on that sign? No, don't look at her screen. Look here, right here.
I can't see.
I know you can't see it. That's my point.
Yeah. Okay.
That's why
But if
now.
I'm driving down the road to get closer to it, I'll see it.
Yeah, but my point is, when you get a little thing like this here on the side of the road, you can't see it. Businesses want to say, "Hey, I am Texas Roadhouse Barbecue," or whatever it may be. They want to have a sign that people can see. They recognize it. They pull in there.
Yeah, like Whiskey Joe.
Like Whiskey Joe's,
Yeah,
exactly.
they got a sign on their building.
Yeah, the only thing I
Okay,
caution.
so stop your
That
share,
one sign said
Christine.
Dance. What the name of the business? It said Dance. Dance Studio. So,
I like the 4 if I can.
Yeah, you have 4.
Oh, okay.
I was just helping her.
Cool. So I've been in communities before where they've overburdened the business people so much that, they're so worried about somebody not seeing Bambi or a little deer or something running around. They're worried about a sign being out there to help somebody's business. They literally run the businesses out of town. And we're not in a place right now where we're over inundated with businesses. We're trying to open up and get businesses here. So we want to be more friendly, not more restrictive. I completely agree that there's businesses out there right now, dilapidated, run down, signs falling apart. Literally, they're currently running their business and the signs falling apart and they're not doing anything about it. That's something we should correct and fix.
Yeah.
But as far as over-regulating the business right now in a community where we don't have nearly the business we should have or want to have, there's a lot of empty spaces out there. I don't know that we want to do that.
And I agree. If you guys look at my screen, let's take a drive down 19 through Port Richey. Okay, and so I think it helps to view things how it's actually applied. So as we come into Port Richey here, you've got the old motel, which is gone, right? But you can see they had a little monument sign here, which really probably didn't help much at all for that. But you can see they have this other one kind of up in the air here, and this one here. Those start to attract people and say, hey, there's a hotel there, right? As we come across the bridge, you see catches over there. You know there's something going on over there at a hotel. Who knows, right? Now, see from there, and then, you get here and you see, now this is something that's on their roof, Rum River. We still don't know what this orange roof thing is here until they got this pole sign right here. Right? And there it is. As we keep driving, I'll say there's not a whole lot going on down here. There's the Suncoast sign Bob mentioned, and it's, it's encased.
Can you back up just a
Sure. Where you want to go?
backwards?
To catches?
On the other side, there was an auto sales sign. It looked like a pole sign
Across the.
on the east side.
Okay, one second. Let me turn here.
Back up.
On the wrong side of the road, Daryl.
You're going.
So this is east over here. The auto sales. As soon as you come across the bridge,
Yeah. There's a sign.
yeah, there's a little place right here,
Something going on. There's a sign.
right here.
See that sign right there?
I mean, it's not overbearing.
Kind of need that or something. But
To get any action over there, yeah.
it's aesthetic could be a super.
Yeah, and actually, if that was a little bigger, a little taller, they would have seen it a lot. Because right here, they're right up on it, and they can see it, right?
So back up a little bit, go on the right here. So that's Tate's Poor Men's Marina.
You say Poor Man's Marina? What'd you say?
Yeah, right there, that junk, right there, all that junk. Now you got Crab Shack on the other side.
Yeah, Crab Shack, great example. They don't have a sign.
Where are they going to put a sign?
Well, they could erect, if we allowed it, they could erect a pole sign over it. You could probably, because as you're crossing this, you're probably going to glance to the left or right, right? And so if they could have a pole sign, they could get their Crab Shack up there. People, because unless you're a local, you probably don't know that's
You
back
don't
there.
even know the Crab Shack. I was here for years, didn't even know it was back there.
And to get to it is
It
even,
would be cheaper for them to put a big Crab Shack sign right on their roof, and you see the same thing, right?
here's your roof right here. Can you,
I know you're doing the roof.
I'm zooming in, which cars don't have the ability to do that, but you can barely make out the shark there.
Okay, so now
So they really need a pole sign up here that says Crab Shack.
so go down to the bridge. That'd be fine. It's not on 19.
Well, it isn't fine now because we don't allow them. So
Well, okay.
this is the whole point of this. It's good exercise.
So go down here. So they're going to put if they buy a resort, put there where Tate's is, and they put big.
Oh, right. Then it becomes like the Bubba Gump down in the shrimp. I mean, you got all these restaurants.
It could be a marina like on Dunedin Causeway. It could be a hotel, a resort.
Right.
Put their name on the building.
But should that business continue to not be able to advertise until this infrastructure is in place?
No, but what I'm saying, that could block out Crab Shack. If they put a bigger resort there, if you're going over a bridge, you can see a Crab Shack, and then at a certain point, then you don't see it anymore. But a big building there might even construct more for you. So wouldn't it be nice to have a sign on the bridge or a marquee right on the bridge?
You can't put a sign on somebody else's property, though.
Plus, you got DOT easements and stuff on the side of that. But
Grand Boulevard, could you have a combined sign like a shopping center where you've got 8 different businesses.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not saying that a development put a bunch of shops in that they would put individual signs up. That would never happen. You would have one big one. They'd all have their own space on it, depending on their size or whatever, just like you see all over the place. But that's not a current reality, and it may not be a future reality. I mean, unless somebody comes up and buys, let's just say somebody comes up and buys all of Tate's property over there. They might put in individual shops, and they would probably have something right there by the road that shows all of them, like Kohl's, Lowe's, and all that. Of course, they would do that. But if somebody comes in here and buys this little parcel, this little parcel, this little parcel, they need to be able to independently advertise because they don't have the infrastructure there to put them on a shared sign. And you can't force individual businesses to get together and build a sign together. Of course, I guess if there are no other options, they would have to probably figure that out on their own, I guess. But anyway, as we continue driving down, you know, there's a pole sign, Big John's
There's a
Tires.
sign also at River Gulf Road. They could advertise the Crab Shack and other businesses down there. I'm saying a sign on the roof or a big pole sign up by Crab Shack over by their business. Yeah, they should be allowed to do that.
Eric, they just remodeled. Turn right in there. Keep going right.
Wanna go down?
Just keep going right. Keep going. You're going good. Keep going. I want to see it backwards. Those
Right
buildings there just got all.
Yeah, those are all
remodeled.
white.
Now, that'd be a great opportunity to put in a monument sign with like 4 different things: the nail people, the
Or that
hamburgers,
area,
whatever.
exactly.
That's
Right.
a great opportunity for that.
Bob's Widgets would work perfect right there.
But you could also put, Crab Shack. You could have whatever business also, isn't it? You know,
Yeah, this is. I think this is all owned by the same person, and so that would make some sense. That this one wouldn't have a pole sign. This one pole sign. There would
You
be
put up a
one.
monument sign,
There'd be a big sign out there that would have all
6
this.
slots in it.
Exactly.
Crab Shack didn't want to put a sign up there. If you want to, they could charge you for it.
I don't know that you can put a sign on somebody else's property, Bob.
It's their property. If they put a marquee up there, I'm saying, or a monument sign.
You have state
Robert's-
property and you have private property. So where's the property for the people behind them to come out there and put their sign on the street?
Are you saying for businesses
If
down this road, they could have a
Right.
marquee in here somewhere?
they could put a marquee for all these businesses here.
Oh, right,
And
sure.
to promote these businesses.
We keep going back to
They could
marquee.
also
Marquee
put
is
on there-
attached to a building.
they
Okay,
could
marquee.
also put
Bob.
Grand Boulevard this way. They could put Crab Shack that way. Whatever business they could put it if they want to. They don't have to. They could charge Crab Shack to put their business listing on there to turn here.
If we could use the correct terminology, just so a marquee sign is attached to the building. It protrudes from the building.
Right. You mean monument sign.
Monument sign.
Monument.
Okay, but
And
marquee keeps thrown around. But make sure monument.
And I'd like to try to
Marquee, but monument.
keep us focused that we're not here to solve the sign problems that people haven't put up signs and you have good spots to help them. That's nice of us, but we need to focus on the code.
Right.
We're already an hour in and I think we've done one thing. So we need to get a long way to go. So I would try to get us back to focus. You're discussing whether you want to keep
I
pole
think we
signs
pull pole
included
signs out of
or
it.
not, and then I would recommend we move on.
Or require a facade on the pole sign if we want to make it look better.
I think
If
that
we
would
wanna control
convert it to a
aesthetic.
ground sign, which you already have.
Excuse me?
That would convert it to what we'd call a ground sign, a monument sign.
Well,
already
I'm
have
saying
that.
if the poles themselves, like
right.
if it was a single pole,
Right.
that would be a monument.
If the pole, what
Read
you're
ground sign.
suggesting, so the ground sign, which is the monument sign, it's anything other than a pole sign, which is not important, but it's supported by structures or supports in or upon the ground and independent of the building, so it's not a marquee sign. The base shall touch the ground and continue to the top of the sign without any openings, and the finish shall be consistent with the materials used on the building that the sign serves. So I think that's like not the Sunny's, the other one you showed that had like the
The facade on it.
facade on it. I think that would qualify as a ground sign. So you have that, you allow that.
Okay, but like say that automobile place that I had to go back to, if we were to require that his facade matched or that the base of it match his building, what are we really getting?
You're not. The color.
You're gonna have to add that into the ordinance.
So if I-
What you're saying is
No, I know.
exactly correct, because right now, sorry. Yeah,
Well, I'm saying if you're going to say you can have a pole sign, but it has to be enclosed, that means you can't have pole signs because that's a ground sign. That's two different things
Well, so
by definition.
I'm going to make sure that, because I don't know that that's. So I'm going to look at this Big John sign right here on my screen. You're saying that's a ground sign?
That's a pole sign.
That's a pole sign.
But it's enclosed.
There, yeah.
It's enclosed
It's a
with
piece of steel.
It's it's the facade, if you remember, that has to be finished, shall be consistent with it. I mean, I guess the building might be the same as the
Right,
other one.
that's what I'm
I think the
saying.
idea is what you showed us. I can't remember what the.
This is a pole.
That yellow sign right there where they're doing it.
That's a pole.
That guy's really cleaned that place up, doing a great job. But that's a pole sign, the one on the right.
All right.
Yeah.
Yellow one. Nope, come back.
The yellow.
One back there,
Oh,
right
right
there,
there.
right there. Yep.
This construction, yeah, that is. Well, this is too, actually.
I would-
But if we-
So is the billboard.
So it's
If we
built.
require that it be the same material, that appears to be a concrete building. It looks like he has a concrete base. What does he have to do? Just paint it yellow? You know, I mean, because what are we really getting if we require it to match the building? Some of these buildings are so old that it's not
They're
really
not
going
very
to.
nice anyway.
Yeah, it's
To
not.
say we want
that-
the building the same
to-
signs, like saying we want a boat
Right.
butt ugly. Yeah.
It might be a little overly burdensome for
So,
something that's no value.
That's look at that's a busy pole sign
Yeah,
there.
that's a good one. Yeah,
That's a pole sign.
that's a good one.
Who's on that one, Eric? Can we see?
Well, that's the battery place, golf carts. And actually,
They have about 4 businesses in there.
They do a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah.
They got transmission shop in there. They got the batteries, the golf carts. So they're using. That's a thriving business in our
There's a lot
city.
of pole signs.
a lot
It's
of
going
pole
to affect a
signs.
lot of people.
Well, that's what they as we grow, you want to continue to put those up.
There's a pole sign right there for the gas station.
It is.
So this is the problem that I have. I mean, you know, it's all well and good to say, well, let's take out pole signs. We don't like them. But the reality is it's like saying, let's take people out of the city because we don't like people. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
they're there. We're going to, if
I'd
you
say maybe we're
worry about cleaning up the bad looking
Right.
stuff.
How about, yeah, exactly. Let's
Right.
get rid of all the falling down, broken down signs.
The one-legged people, not the two-legged people.
That's right.
Okay.
I'll make a motion we pull pole signs out of this thing. Can we do that?
Well,
I,
I agree with you guys, but I think we could allow pole signs as long as they're not on the 19 corridor. I mean, they're some grandfathered in unless approved.
Well, that's where you want it.
Well, unless they're approved by council, so they can come in. I mean, we can, if we approve it.
Well, all signs, just so you know, these are, if we allow pole signs, those are permitted signs. If they're permanent structures, they're permitted. So the city's going to basically give a permit to that. So if you want to allow pole signs, and you want to put some things behind there of, you know, it must say it has to be painted. It can't be just raw pole. It has to be painted. And you could even say it has to be
Same color paint your building.
has to be gray, black, or green. You know, you put that kind of stuff, and so then it gets permitted, and they have to follow those things. But again, it's right now there's no pole signs.
okay, how about this?
Yeah, we should allow pole signs, but
How about new pole
Where are you going to
signs?
put them? You put them on the back road? I mean,
like the Crab Shack put on his property. The Crab Shack can't put a pole sign on
he's not on
Robert's
19.
property.
There's lots of people on 19 that bought commercial properties that want to have a pole sign out there that don't want to put them on the backside 40 or they want to use their pole sign.
How about this?
And they chose this city to be here in business, you know. So
You're going to put a whole bunch of pole signs out on 19 for every little business you're going to put out on the Waterfront District. You're going to have 20 little signs out there for all 20 businesses.
but we don't have 20 little businesses
You
out
will
there.
have
They
someday.
cannot just put it on 19, Bob. They have to put it on their
They have their own property.
On the-
They can't
So
put it on
then, so you
other
won't see it on 19. That's what I'm saying. It's not fair for those businesses not
They
to have
bought
it.
the
They
business
can,
down.
and they don't have to use a pole sign. That's just one.
Yeah.
If you remove this from this list, that's one option they would have. Right now, if they're following the rules right now, they cannot have a pole sign.
Go ahead, Christine.
Okay, my thoughts are is it's premature to do something like this because the city hasn't changed enough to be so concerned about the change in the signs. If the city were to change its aesthetics a whole lot over the course of years, then we could look into this again and get our signs up there.
Yeah, well, so this.
But well, hold on just a
Yeah,
second.
go ahead.
For new pole signs, how about this? For any newly constructed pole signs, they have to meet an aesthetic protocol like a facade of stone or whatever we agree upon. And then for older, allow them to be grandfathered. Don't take them down if they become substantially damaged or, tear them down. Make them, rebuild them, fix them or whatever with a facade that we approve in this code. So that over time, as things get better and start looking better, over time our facade, the signage starts to look better, as the city starts to look better, then it's not, pull the rug out from everybody right now. They could adjust over time.
Well, suppose based on what you're saying, if they put the facade on, it's not a pole sign anymore. But
And again, you don't have to agree with me, but the way I read your definition, not yours, but the city's definition of ground sign, if you have, and it's not connected to a building, the base shall touch the ground and continue to the top of the sign without any openings, and the finish shall be consistent with the materials used on the building that serves the sign. So that may make the difference. If you just wanted to say it can't be a metal pole or whatever other kind of, maybe a wood pole, I don't know if people use wood. If you want to say it has to be covered somehow, you're very close to saying that's the same definition as
go back
ground
and read the pole sign definition again.
pole sign.
And just so you know, I think once we get past this, they go a lot quicker. There's
I'm
some
not staying here as long as you want. I felt like we were telling
this is a big item.
And I'm not saying to get off pole signs, but I felt like we got to the point of.
We're not allowed to have all these
Some
things.
stuff is
Right.
Some stuff is much
Which is
harder
great
than
to be
others.
helpful, but not during this conversation. I mean,
Well, we're paying
pole
so much
sign
money
is
for
a
these
sign
wayfinders.
independent of support
Yeah.
from any building that is mounted on freestanding poles or other supports to the bottom edge of the sign face is 8 feet or more above grade.
Okay, so based on that, whether you would close it or not, I think is irrelevant. It's still on a pole.
Right? But I mean, so are the other signs, you just cover it up. So you don't think that the monument sign's really 2 poles that you just can't see?
It's
Right?
exactly what it is.
That's what it is.
It's
It's
exactly
just
what
covered.
it
You
is.
just don't
2
see
poles that are covered.
there's some kind of structure holding it up, but it's, has
Well, if
something
that
around it.
if you cover a pole sign so you can't see the pole, even if you cover it ever so slightly, it's a square box.
Yeah.
If that removes it from being a pole sign, I don't think we have a problem.
I don't.
A lot of monuments
But I
signs
would venture to say that we've
Here's
But
probably not
another.
allowed those in the
Here's
past.
another
But that-
definition.
you're-
Pole signs and monument signs are both freestanding signs used to identify businesses, but they differ significantly in height, design, and purpose. Pole signs are tall and prominent, designed for maximum visibility from a distance, often along highways or in large commercial areas. Monument signs are shorter, ground level signs placed near entrances and are often chosen for their aesthetic appeal and ability to convey a sense of permanence and prestige.
What did it say about ground? It's a
And
monument.
they're generally built
So
concrete
the
block.
monument's like
It's the same
closer to the
thing.
ground, and
Yeah, that's why it's called a ground sign.
poles.
You guys just call it ground. I've never seen anyone call it ground.
Oh, we don't have monument signs. They're ground signs.
You have, your ground sign is a monument. I would say that the difference is with the ground sign, it's not just that the pole's covered. You have the extra part that has to be consistent with the materials of the building for your monument sign.
I don't think
You
that's a
require both.
benefit.
Yeah, so I don't think ground signs in our definition, if we cover up the pole, it doesn't become a ground sign. It'd
Only
be-
if you cover it with consistent material that's used on the building. If you require your pole sign to have the same coverage that match the building, that's just your ground sign. 'Cause the
So
pole-
for a stuccoed building, it'd be a stuccoed
I guess
pole.
I think
Put
that
some
appears that's what
Hardy
they
board on it,
anticipated.
stucco,
We
boom,
could
you got sign.
We could change that to just structure it to certain kinds of a facade, like a faux stone or a real stone or wood or something, instead of matching buildings, because our buildings right now, it isn't
Careful, yeah.
necessarily something you want to match and add.
A lot of the signs are metal. Some of them are concrete block and steel. They're not just wooden poles. Very few of them are wooden poles. Most of them are concrete with steel. And then they also make, like I said, metal, and they'll have a nice material on the outside to make it appealing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not saying we should. Why do we have so many pole signs in the city if they're outlawed right now? They're not legal to have.
I cannot answer that question.
There was people before all of us.
I mean, that's just how you hold a sign up, Bob.
Well, they're
I'll tell
outlawed,
you.
though, dude. Why are they here?
Because they've been there since 1950.
So what's the problem?
Well, that's what I'm
Well,
wondering.
not true, because there's a pole sign. It's Walmart. So
Right.
here's my thing. Is there
That's
anything?
not how we got here. Let's just see what.
Well, is there anything inherently obtrusive about that sign?
I don't think so.
You
Even
know,
without a facade
that's-
on that
Other than
one.
the fact the electrics on the bottom are falling apart, looks like a spring broke in it, and it should be aesthetically, zoning should say, hey, Walmart, your sign looks a little funky there. Can you please address that? Because it looks like it went going at the bottom.
There's a Hunt sign. Obviously, that's not a pole sign, although it's probably got 2 poles underneath
That's
there.
a monument
but-
sign.
Does that look any better?
Does that one meet
Really,
the
then-
current code for height restrictions and
The
such,
wall
or is
on
it
that?
also out of compliance?
Wall walk
That
covers.
Honda, since it's a monument, but it's high.
Honda said they're changing that. They're going with a lower. That recent studies have shown that lower is more
Okay.
effective.
Yeah, people see it better.
But I just wondered, like, if
But currently, are they out?
currently, not that I'm trying to get it changed or anything, but it almost seems like a study would be a good pass what we need to pass as far as this.
There's a great example.
the
Charlie's ain't
language
been here,
that
but
changed and whatever else we were here
Yeah,
to
but that
do.
sign
And
may have
then-
been there for a long time.
it
Even though
wasn't. It used to be
All they did was replace it.
well, they just replaced the glass in it,
All
right?
they did was
Yeah.
replace the sign.
And I'm okay with
There's a
that.
pole, they have a good life then. These pole signs are sturdy.
Yeah.
That's what sounds like. They just don't.
I think it's a futile exercise to get rid of pole
As long
signs.
as it's on their property.
Let's worry about make sure that you maintain your pole sign.
Right.
Keep it painted.
There are so many different signs out there that need to be maintained right now that are falling apart. People didn't fix them after the storm. They didn't put light bulbs in them. The electric's falling off. That's what we should be addressing is not maintaining.
There's one
your
right
sign.
there. Go back. There's a broken sign right there.
There's a lot of broken signs.
Yeah.
Well, this may be his older image. It might be
It's
fixed
what?
now. It's this older
oh,
image.
okay.
So you got me.
This is not live.
Okay.
I love a little
That's a digital
I don't have this
sign.
Tesla to drive
I
around.
think we strike pole signs from this thing here.
I do too.
Digital
I
sign.
agree.
Strike what you tell me to strike.
I tell you,
Second that.
I made a motion. Christine seconded it.
Workshop.
any objections?
It's
to
just a
that?
workshop.
What is
Yeah, it's just a
workshop?
workshop.
We-
You don't
is this-
have to.
I don't even know what it says.
With the consensus, like.
Yeah. Is there any objections to removing pole signs?
No, I have no problem. No.
Done.
Gone. 2 readings and
Remove them.
Public
Our
comment?
job's done here. Let's go home.
Removing them from the ordinance, not to remove pole signs.
right. Move it from the ordinance. So we would allow pole signs in.
Yes, I
See.
knew what he meant, but yes, good idea to make sure people understand. Yes,
English is a tricky language.
the mayor's on his way out now to pull them all down.
So that was number 15. So let's jump back up to the top here and kind of go through these.
If I may, am I hearing a consensus that you'd like us to redouble our efforts on code enforcement to make sure that signs that are dilapidated, old that need paint, rusting, whatever, that we start citing those as need for improvement?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I would say when you say citing, you're talking about giving a notice to fix it or whatever.
No, yeah, notice.
Citation is a subsequent
I
step.
misspoke, yeah, the first step.
It could be
First is
dangerous. And
Shake their hand. Tell them you're from the government. We're here to help.
Thanks for
Right,
being
yeah.
in our city and spending.
Yeah, no, we're here for we're from the government. We're here to help. And then, by the way, you may not have known this, but
the city official must have a smile on their face. I'll take
that's
a
right.
motion for that.
Smile required.
Has Pat ever smiled? I've never seen him
Yes,
smile.
he does.
Veronica's always got a smile on her face.
Pat smiles when he comes over.
Okay, so activated signs and devices was struck out because that was something that
That's P&Z.
P&Z wanted to allow them. So, what'd I say?
Okay, what page are we on? I got lost sharing
What I-
screens
what I
and such.
15.
15, page 15,
I think.
Did I say what I said?
17.
Why do you want to jump to 15? That's possible.
Where, they're asking where you're at.
Oh,
Yeah.
so we talked about pole signs, but it was number 15, so I'm going back up to the top of the list. And we'll just
Page
roll-
15 or number?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, page 17.
Okay.
Page 7. Okay.
It was item 15 of 121.3 that we were on, pole sign. We're going to go back to number 1 and go down the list. Activated signs, devices, planning and zoning, removed. So we're going to start allowing those. Revolving signs. Now, those are obviously signs
There's 2
that
different numbers.
spin.
Yeah, we don't want those.
Okay. Any objections to leaving that?
Wait a second.
No. I make a motion to leave it.
So you have to make motions.
Okay, can you
Yep, I sign it for you.
Oh, let's not hang. Let's not get ahead. So
on the
we're on,
document itself.
we're on
the-
revolving signs.
left
Is there any
right-hand
objections? Does somebody want to allow those?
No.
You know what's a turn?
No.
Good. Okay.
No.
We're on the same page there. Snipe signs.
I'm
Except
going
barber
to give you the
poles.
definition. It
Barber
is-
poles.
Oh, bugger poles.
Barber poles are okay.
Well, that's a good point.
Barber poles are okay.
Unless it's a barber pole.
Snipe sign means a sign made of any material when such sign is tacked, posted, nailed, glued, or otherwise attached to any pole, tree, or other natural feature, fence post, bench, stake, other sign, or other similar objects located on the public or private right-of-way. The term snipe sign does not include real estate, sales sign, warning signs, open house signs.
A garage sale.
Missing dog sign. Is that what we're talking about? Like,
Yeah, sounds like it.
But in order to be a snipe sign, it has to be in the right of way.
Could be a private
That
right
a
of way.
hint?
Located on public or no?
So
Located on public or private property.
Also, so
yeah, I'm good with no snipe signs. I'm good with that. Can I take us down to 24
what?
I don't think he's.
No, why we got to jump?
or 34? The next thing down.
3.
It's 3. They're renumbered. See, it's
Oh,
across
gotcha. Well, okay. Well, yeah, 3. So-
One thing before we go to snipe signs, so election signs, for example, those would be technically snipe signs, but they have a special exemption, right? Just make sure
I don't.
because we allow them as long as they're not in the right of way.
I think in the right of way they get pulled.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll discuss
They're
that later,
supposed to get
but I mean, election signs and garage sale signs and all those other things, those are all snipe signs.
It's the signs you see driving down the road, and all of a sudden there's a sign. You know, the little sign is shoved in the right of way on the side of the road. That's not necessarily like where a sign's meant to be. That's kind of idea.
I mean, political signs are a different story. I mean,
Election
people run
signs
political
are
office.
addressed
I don't like the
later on
definition.
somewhere.
What's that?
Election signs are addressed in here later on somewhere.
Are they?
I don't remember.
I saw 'em.
It was a different.
I think it gave us
Oh,
like
okay.
72 hours.
Okay. All right, yes, we'll come back to some signs that are snipe signs that are allowed. I know that's later on, so I think we're good here.
So the next one.
Signs other than sandwich signs placed on sidewalk curbs.
So we're going to tell everybody who serves a cup of coffee or a bowl of soup, you can't put a sign up there. But if you make a sandwich, you can put a sign up
No,
there.
no. Sandwich sign is a little A-frame.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I have a
It's a
definition for
type
that
sign.
too.
Yeah, go
I
ahead and read
thought
your
that
definition.
last night too.
I was looking at this.
I had to look up a sandwich sign and saw, those, they collapse.
I mean, that's
things.
like, hot roast
Yeah,
beef sandwiches here or something.
So they can write like a hand
That's
down
okay.
special on it. That's a,
I
that's
have
a
been sick
sandwich
for
sign.
3 days.
But
okay,
that was
guys, but,
funny.
yeah.
Here's sandwich sign.
Sandwich sign is a sign that consists of one or two side. I'm sorry. Let me try that again. One or two sign faces connect. Maybe you should read it. I can't get the
Sandwich signs means a sign which consists of one or two sign faces connected at the top with either hinges or fixed fastening devices, is not permanently erected on the site, and may readily be moved from place to place.
Like what
It's a
you see in
A-frame.
front of the ice
But
cream
if it
shop
can be moved,
That's like,
downtown
no big deal.
Newport Richey, they always have one out front.
that's a sign I
Sorry,
have.
too many pizza. What?
Melted and the ice cream shop downtown Newport Richey, they always have those
Yeah.
signs where you can write on
That's
them.
a sandwich sign.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
those are
So I got one that I put up whenever I had charters so people could tell where to park.
the only so,
Temporary
The
sign,
idea
but
is that
so only thing you can have on sidewalk
Doesn't-
curb is a
doesn't
sandwich sign.
regulate
right.
that.
It's a safety issue.
Good. No problem with that. Okay. Swing
gotta call it
signs.
an A-frame sign.
I don't know why they call them sandwich signs. That's interesting. Google there.
Makes me hungry.
Swinging signs. So this is an interesting thing. A lot of times, and I'll give you an example, a real estate sign out front, they got a little swinging thing on it that has maybe the realtor's name or something on it, or sold, or whatever. So
Realtor on duty.
yeah, exactly. Agent on duty.
Agent on duty, yeah.
What's our definition of swinging
I
sign?
don't know. I was just looking. I don't think you have one.
I was in Myrtle Beach, I was in St. Augustine,
have
a
a
lot of
definition.
swinging signs hanging in front of their businesses. They look nice, but they're limited to how big they are and where they're located.
Yeah, and honestly, you won't want a big old swinging sign out on 19. Hurricane comes through, that sucker's going. So,
Oh my
Your
God, we
code
went
does not
there.
define
I
it.
can't believe you.
well, that's what. If you take it out, that's
Yeah,
what
well,
happens. Right?
well, you can have it say it could be 1 foot by 2 foot sign in front of the business or attached to the business or the building.
Yeah, I think it needs to be relatively small if it's.
Right. That would be,
If you want to allow it, I can look at other jurisdictions.
Yeah, see,
And generally, what people allow.
yeah, because see how that gets handled, because that's.
as you want to develop the waterfront or the main street or something like that, you're going to have little signs in front.
Yeah,
of
there's
the
more
business.
like if you're downtown, a little business district or whatever.
Right, exactly.
you could have a little smaller swing.
I think they're done right. They look nice. And actually, in St. Augustine, they all were kind of the same kind of design.
Yeah.
And they're all same size, and they look pretty nice.
And this
That's
even
nice.
goes for the numbers on your mailbox. If you have, that's a swinging sign. So
Oh, here's one too.
she's gonna look into
Yeah.
that.
Swinging
Yeah.
sign, that's nice.
Vehicle signs were scrapped. So then we go to number 5. Any sign which has unshielded illuminated devices produce glare or hazard nuisance, do lighting control mechanisms causing radio, television. I think it's all good. unless you guys disagree. Is erected or maintained so as to obstruct firefighting equipment, window, door. This is interesting. So when I read this, if I put a sign in my window, which there are window signs available, what what does it mean by obstruct? To me, if the sign is in the window, it's obstructing the window, and so that would seem like that would mean any sign in a window would need to be removed. But I know we have window signs; they're temporary.
They don't want to put a sign in their window.
I think the idea would be, and this is the first time someone's brought this up, so first time I'm thinking about it, but is it obstructing, in this case, firefighting equipment if they can just knock it over and move it? I mean, if it's on there and they can just knock it down, it's not really obstructing them. I think the idea is it's not something that's placed there that's going to slow them down in any fashion,
Okay.
right? It's big, it's bulky, it's, something like that. But that would be my thought.
It's like a lead anvil sign or something like that.
That would be my thought. I think that if it's a sign that you paint on the window, obviously you can break the window. If it's a sign you just place in front of the window that meets the requirements of a window sign, it's not too obstructive. I wouldn't think it too obstructive, but
Well, that gets into required for proper light and ventilation. Just want to make sure we weren't going crazy there. I think it's okay. Projects in excess of 18 inches over a dedicated public street, I think it's fine.
That's over the sidewalk too. That leaves about 30 inches left on the sidewalk if signs overhang. Our sidewalks typically 4 feet. And
Typically 4 feet, I think. Yeah.
is 30 inches enough for a bicyclist to get by?
Somebody.
I don't know. It's so
A
because
lot of times when brush is coming over the sidewalks, I'm on the sidewalks a lot, my little scooter. When brush is coming over a sign or something, it is hard to get by those. Gets kind of dangerous.
I think is there another section that talks about projecting over public right of way? I know this talks about it, but I thought there was something else too that you couldn't have it projecting over. So this may be somewhat contradictory, and I'm assuming that maybe this would have to emanate outside of the right of way. That would project into the right of way over the street, alley, sidewalk, or private public roadway. Oh, so this is these are. Never mind. So based on what this says, if it was 18 or less, you could do it.
yes.
Right, so I'd rather not project over the sidewalk because it gets difficult to
let's
navigate
highlight
those
that.
sidewalks when stuff is encroaching over them.
Let's highlight that and make sure. I want to say there's something else on down that may be somewhat contradictory. Okay, bench signs located on private property. This is one I definitely don't understand. Why we don't allow bench signs on your private property?
The people before you chose to.
What does that mean? Like
If you the bench,
live a
like
good
the call a
life
lawyer or whatever.
Oh, that. Okay.
Yeah, but
Okay,
people
yeah,
have
private.
businesses and they put a bench in a place for the consumer to sit or whatever, and they put a little something on it. And it might be something like, have a great day, Jesus loves you. I don't know. It might be whatever
Right.
they do on it,
Or their phone
Are we going to
number.
start telling people what they can put on their bench that at their business?
No, I think that we can maybe decide on what kind of bench or maybe a couple designs that the city approves for a bench.
Okay, you have to look at your definition. So your definition of bench sign, this may change what you're thinking. Bench sign is a bench whose primary purpose is collateral with providing transportation service to the public, upon which a sign is indelibly drawn, painted, or printed. So I think that it means a bus stop. It's not like
But is
Right.
that on private property?
I'm just telling you
Right.
what your definition of bench sign is.
Sign is
Right.
basically.
So, but I mean, in context of this section or number
So
8, bench
typically,
sign
if somebody
located on
puts
private
a
property.
chair for somebody to sit on when they're waiting for the bus. They sell the advertisement on that back.
Right.
Right. So that's what
What's wrong with that?
Nothing wrong with that.
I don't think there's
it's
anything
not
wrong
going
with
to be
that.
on
But
private property.
Oh,
You-
I see.
I guess the point is you wouldn't want it to be on someone's private property. All of a sudden you put a bench in your
Well, I'm gonna have
front yard.
problems.
If I want to put a bench in my front yard and say, shop Bob's Widgets, I'll be able to do that.
Well, I think aesthetically, you guys might not want to promote that, but that's,
I think
Well,
that's,
we could put a sign up, does it? Just can't be on a bench?
well, you can't just put any sign. I mean,
what's one
how many-
scenario we're dealing
how
with in
big?
the city or have in the last 10 years that has to do with the bench sign and we're like, hey, that's a problem. If there's not one, I think we're straighten the whole thing.
Well, maybe it's not a problem because we don't allow it.
we don't let full signs either.
That's
Well, they out there
doubtful.
for that.
Your problem.
So you guys don't care what size or what design or what the bench looks like, it doesn't matter.
Well, we can't control the language on the
I'm
sign.
not saying that. I'm talking about the design of just the bench itself. The sign, they got an area they can only put so much on a bench unless they make
It's
it
just
10
the
foot
back
by.
portion you lean
Well,
against.
this is for this 10-foot high bench is for the big people. It doesn't have anything against the code. They can't do it. So
I don't think
that's
we
okay,
have
I guess.
anything in the code restricting the size of a bench
It
as
doesn't.
it is.
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Again, I don't know that we have a problem. We have a problem.
Not now, no.
Prohibited right now.
Yeah, it's prohibited. So in theory,
That's why we don't
why
have
you
a
don't
problem.
have
No, it says bench signs located on private property. It doesn't say bench signs located on public property or
No.
street or right of way. And every bench sign I know is located in the right of way. So none of that would apply to us because we're not on private property.
But if you were a business, right,
And you want to give them
and,
place
and you
to sit.
and you
you're
put a
free.
bench outside your business and you advertise your business,
I think that's okay.
To do
I'm
that.
for Yeah. If there's a bus stop in front of my business and the people are constantly, standing up waiting for the bus, and I want to let them sit down,
let me ask you this, Nancy. If you put your sign on the bench, you still are limited to the size restrictions that a sign can be. Just because it's a bench don't mean you can make an enormous bench. You
Right.
still have to,
Yes.
so you can only get so big on a sign anyway. So, depending on,
Well, size matters sometimes.
it does. It does. A bench could be very offensive if it was big enough.
They can.
I only know a couple benches that people are sitting at in the city that have signs in the back of them, right? There's one down there in front of the old gambling ship place, right there. What's it called?
Sunford.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, we have some over there in Waterfront, which is nice, and we should be allowed to, business want to advertise on those benches, they should be allowed to. But it'd be nice if all the benches were uniform in the city is all.
I mean, almost all the benches are pretty uniform, right? They have a bottom and a back,
Yeah, usually.
They don't have Lazy Boys built in, so I'm getting a little facetious. I'm just making.
Yeah, you are.
Well,
Okay, Bob, I got a little facetious.
and I don't want the city to become an HOA.
Right.
Okay, and so
Right.
we start talking about you can only do these colors. Your benches can only look like this. You're an HOA at that point. I mean, if an HOA wants to put something like that, that's a whole nother.
And if this business has a characteristic for that particular business, they want to have a bench to match that characteristic, but it doesn't match what we want, then that would be a problem too. So I
Yeah.
agree.
So
I think we strike
I
that.
think we strike it.
You guys agree? Finally, I get my bench sign I've been wanting to get. Just kidding.
Abandoned signs.
It'd be a favor.
There's going to be an investigation now.
Be a favor, yeah. Whoever wants a bench sign.
Where's your waiters if you put on your lot?
Exactly. Abandoned signs. So if you could elaborate a little bit on that. It means that they're, I guess you had a sign and you went out of business and it's just,
Essentially, abandoned sign is any non-conforming on-premises signs on the premises of the place we're talking about, or sign structure which bears no sign, it's gotten blown out, or copy for a period of 6 consecutive months, or that displays for a period of 6 consecutive months information which identifies a business, owner, lessor, or principal activity conducted on the site which no longer exists on the site, or which through age, lack of maintenance, or obsolescence no longer conforms to the applicable structures or maintenance standards.
Damage is an honor.
For 6, I think there's another place for you're supposed to keep up, maintain it. There's a provision for that.
so here's
This is just a sign that you had a business and you left the sign there, and 7 months later that would be considered.
here's a concern on this. There's a property out there that has a permanent sign on it that was there. Okay, they went out of business. It's sad. It had the buds and all this other stuff. And the 6 months has transpired. Let's say it happened to leave. So they went away, and the sign is out there. At some point, business is going to own that, and probably want to take that sign and rehab it, dress it up, use it for their purposes, right? But what this is telling me is basically the current property owner once that sign is no longer used, 6 months, they need to tear it down.
That's a problem.
And a lot, and especially a commercial lot that already has a sign there that's grandfathered in, they would want to leverage that sign.
Can we put in some language that says, Ashley, you're not watching me today. Usually you're all over me.
Sorry,
So if,
Make sure I didn't do something wrong. That's
I
all.
think an abandoned sign, as long as it's
Currently,
kept up,
the building's for lease or for sale.
Must
Right.
have a lease or for sale sign.
Yeah.
In it, that it must be maintained. It can't be left vacant. Could we write something in that it must
Right.
have a
It's
sign?
pretty obvious.
well, again, so let's say that let's say
Think about a lot that somebody's holding on to with a vacant sign,
Right.
with an abandoned sign,
that's what I'm thinking.
but they're not even trying to sell that property. So
But
that,
again, it's kind of like I look at a sign at least from a commercial standpoint. It's an asset of the property, right? It's a sign that's going to be used at some point. If it buys, I buy it as an investment, or I buy it and I went out of business and I'm waiting for the market to turn around or whatever. Right now what's happening is the code says 6 months after that I got to tear it down. It may be a beautiful sign, but because it's no longer actively being used, the code is forcing me to tear it down or quickly sell the property, change hands, and that person has 6 months to get it up and running again. It's just,
Do we need to adjust the time period? Maybe.
well,
I don't think an abandoned sign is a bad thing, because at some point in the future, again, real estate transactions like that may take a long time. I think you need to maintain it like you maintain your grass, right? Just because you're
Like it has to have a covering or it has to have something on it.
maybe it needs paint or whatever. Maybe it needs to be.
Let me propose this. So let's say you have a business and it goes under. You're no longer going to have the business. Maybe you're trying to sell. Maybe you're holding on the property, thinking you're going to have the next business idea. Meanwhile, the actual writing in your sign,
Right.
it fades, it damaged. The pole itself needs some repair. It's been 7 months, 8 months, 9 months, 10 months. You're just looked at pictures and said those need to be updated. I may not care. Okay, I have my 6 months. You cite me, whatever. I may not care about it. I may care about it. I now have code compliance. We go to the special magistrate. It's going to be a fine per day if I keep doing it. If you take it away, what do you have to get that person to finally make it look nicer? How long is too long? Is it a year from now? It's stated, and you still can do nothing because you've taken away. And again, you guys do your own and you do your own thing. Every city I know of has an abandoned sign policy.
I agree.
You don't want people to abandon signs. If you take this out, you're going to have more areas that look bad than you do now.
Yeah,
Well,
Pat,
people
Pat
are gonna
can't
walk
go out and
away.
do anything
Well, let me give
about
you a
it.
real example. I see your point for sure.
That's just one side to think of it that way.
So, Chamber of Commerce over there, right? There's a sign there existing. That building was for sale a long time. That sign's been abandoned for a long time. So technically, it should be tore down based on the code. It hasn't. So what's going to happen is, and I know he was looking at grants to actually work on that sign. That he got to come in to get a permit to do that, and based on its current state, it's abandoned, and so he no longer is able to use that sign.
But based on the current state, what?
It's abandoned because it's past the 6 months. I mean, Chamber of Commerce has been there for a year plus, 2 years almost.
If they're going to come in and ask to, it's abandoned if it's abandoned. If someone's ready to use it, it's no longer abandoned.
Right.
As long as
Yeah.
they're doing what they need to.
That would be for tearing it down, for codes to take action and tear the sign down, not for when you come in, like if somebody got away with it and they came in and they're getting ready to make the sign nice again, not a reason to say, well, it's been abandoned, so no, you can't.
All right, so let me ask you this. So if somebody comes in and wants to use their sign and it's been in an abandoned state,
You're not going to stop.
In all the years I've been here, we've never told someone that it's got to come down.
Right.
We've never demolished a sign.
and that's great. And that's
We've
great.
never
It's
taken
no longer
it
abandoned.
down.
Someone's fixed, going to use it,
If someone's going
It's no
to
longer
use it,
abandoned.
they need to rehab it and bring it back.
Okay.
This is a nice code to have there in case we have a problem.
Yes.
This,
I-
but it's
I
not
don't-
necessarily, you're not running around there with your billy club one hand and then cut the sign out with the other one. Okay.
So-
I know where you're going. Just because they haven't enforced it doesn't mean they won't enforce
That's
it.
right.
Which is very
You
true.
get code enforcement anything, that becomes his flavor of the day. I'm going to go through it. I'm going to get
That's
really
true.
bad
If
signs.
you have a rule, you want to make sure you're okay with having that rule. What I'm suggesting is you want something that addresses the abandoned signs.
I
If
think
not, you're going
probably
to have an issue.
I think-
70% of these rules can be abused.
Well, anything could be.
Right.
Yeah,
So
so why-
long we're not abusive.
Why don't we state we have a definition of abandoned signs that once the city has determined a sign has been abandoned, okay, a property owner has so much time to unabandon it.
I mean, if you own a property and you don't have a tenant at the time, and they say, hey, your sign's dilapidated, it's falling down, whatever, the wiring's not hooked up correctly, whatever. If you fix it up and put a for lease sign in there, that's all still.
And that's fine too. What we generally ask is that you take the business name down. And so sometimes you could just take those signs and turn them inside out.
Didn't it
You-
say
you-
something about
you could
coming
just
soon
turn
and
the
abandoned
boards
or for sale
inside out.
lease?
No, it's just saying, hold on. Non-conforming on-premises sign or sign structure which bears no sign or copy for a period of 6 months, so the sign's missing. That would be one thing. Or that displays for a period of 6 consecutive months information which identifies a business owner, lessor, or principal activity conducted on the site which no longer exists.
So, and we just ask them to put white boards in or turn the boards inside out so that you can't see that business name anymore. That's all.
Or take them out entirely so that there aren't cracked signs
Right.
in there.
Well, you
And
don't want
require
signs
that
empty
they,
with
they
light bulbs.
require that they maintain the sign's paint or something. Can we require that they keep the sign?
Well, the smart thing
Oh,
is to
even
put
if-
for lease or for sale in there. I mean, that would be the smart
But
thing
it's not
to do.
often for lease or sale. Sometimes people are just holding on to property and they're not attempting to lease it or
Well, then
sign
they
it.
need to fix their sign up, like you
And
said.
that's where
Yeah,
we
that's
ask
what
them
I'm
to
saying.
put the whiteboard in. Just
Right, okay.
clear it out so
And
that
maintain
So they know what to do.
I
That's
I
fine.
like
Leave it
that. I
in
like
there.
that idea. Just
Leave
make
it
sure
in
they
there.
white it out on both sides. That way it's not distracting. It's not lying. We're not still
Nice.
selling
Some
what
people
you
maintain
need
the
to
See,
sign.
buy.
and that's what it basically says, which bears no sign or copy for a period of 6 months. So basically, if you black out or whatever, and this is a chamber sign, it has nothing on there; it's blacked out, right? And it's not for the chamber. I mean, I've got a sign structure on my commercial property that I intend to put back together, but it doesn't have any sign copy in there. It's just poles. So, you're going to have that across the city. These properties that have gone past 6 months that don't have anything going on them. But this says it's abandoned. The city could technically come in there and say tear it down.
No, what we need to do is require that these lots that aren't for sale, that are along 19 or commercial lots at all, that aren't for sale, are maintained, mowed, signage kept up, fencing kept up, trash removed from them. So if we can write something into the code now that requires that the sign be maintained so that
It's in there.
Yeah,
it
You
is.
have that.
What is the language?
Section 121.12 is the maintenance of signs, and this is not new language, it's what you've had before. And basically says that it includes supports, braces, guides, and anchors shall be maintained so as to present a neat, clean appearance. Painted areas and sign surfaces shall be kept in good condition, and illumination, if provided, shall be maintained in safe and good working order. Trash, rubbish, and debris shall be kept clear in front of, behind, underneath, or around the base of signs for a distance of 5 feet.
And then could we add something in about signs no longer in use? How those are handled
Then you
as
have,
far as the signage either being removed or replaced with a whiteboard
The
or
next-
something.
I
so that-
haven't read this, I'm gonna read it out loud, we're all gonna hear it for the first time. The
Okay.
next, I've read it, I just don't remember what it says. Right underneath that in section 1, it's outdated on-site signs, which says this, refers to on-site signs that are not currently being used to identify an activity on the property, but that are not abandoned signs as defined by this chapter. Such signs shall be maintained, including at all times covering the inner fixtures or workings of the sign. Copy that does not relate to a current activity on the property shall be removed or covered with an opaque covering, so that such signs maintain a clean and neat appearance, which is what
Yes.
Veronica was just explaining.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
The big issue I have with this is that to me a sign is a piece of the real estate, and I liken this to, let's say that I buy a property that has a sign, and I start operating my business or whatever in the property, but one room of that business remains unoccupied. Maybe I'm going to make an office, maybe I'll do that. The sign's no different. Maybe I'm just not going to use the sign right now. It's still a viable part of my property, and it should really be able to be there unactive as long as it's maintained and all that.
White sides.
White sides.
That's what we were just talking about,
That's
yeah.
what section 121-12
Well, right, but abandoned estate.
that wouldn't be abandoned if you may not
You're
be
maintaining it.
using it, but you have the opaque covering in it.
Oh, so
maintaining
basically,
Yeah.
well, abandoned specifically, the definition said if it didn't have any copy or
it. This talks about it shall be maintained, including all time, and covering the inner fixtures or workings of the sign. Copy that does not relate to a current activity shall be removed or covered with an opaque covering. So I think that's where Veronica's telling you they have you flip that over so the obsolete business isn't being advertised or whatever, but it's not.
so as long as the signs maintain all that, it
Yeah.
can be blank and be blank
Yes.
forever. That's not abandoned.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
According to this.
then we're good.
The idea of the abandoned is truly broken, abandoned, falling down. No one cares. The business is gone.
Nobody's doing anything about
You
it.
don't want that.
Gotcha.
I don't think you want that.
Yeah, no.
But I see what you're saying. If it's there and you're waiting for the next business to come in or what you're going to do next, there is a way to keep, as long as you maintain it.
Bob, I know you were jumping to this earlier. Inflatable signs or devices. So
Leave it in. We don't want them.
you don't like the big old gorilla,
Uh,
the big old tax thing.
well, I think gorilla's cool.
Except for gorillas.
Oh, yeah, Honda has a cool gorilla. He's got a smile. He's got a cigar. He's pretty cool.
I mean, that's car dealers. We have that car fox. That thing's 30 feet tall, and they bring it to one dealership, drop it off for a week.
So those are illegal
Those
right
are
now?
illegal.
I think it's,
Yeah.
those are temporary.
No, I think on a temporary basis they should be allowed. So you want to put maybe 3 months to be allowed?
Something, Nancy, that you may want to check into with DMV because I know that on the highway that was an issue. That was a distraction to motorists, and I don't remember where I read that, but that was one with the animals that go all over the place.
Well, that's a shaking. That's a
festoons.
fan-driven thing. That's different than the
I
gorilla.
can't stand those things.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
any
that's
sign
No, I'm talking
prohibited,
about the festoon.
Yeah.
prohibited by state or federal law.
This is like a big inflatable gorilla that just.
The one that Ocean Honda put up on the weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
They should be allowed to do that.
I think so too.
You guys missed an opportunity there to NLV.
Which we never, we
have plenty of
never really, we never really enforce that because you have a lot of grand openings and people want to do
Right.
something like
Exactly.
that.
Exact point.
We allow them, we're not out there
Well,
enforcing
when
that.
I look
to
at
I
that
agree.
extent.
So let's take it out of code.
Yeah.
So somebody can come along and all of a sudden say,
But once you take it out and you don't regulate it,
Right.
then you have every.
I think we get time frame behind them.
That you need
Business can
location on the property, time frame, size.
Yeah.
You might want to.
They may be having a special sale that weekend or something, and then they're
So-
throwing them up.
Right. So I think you just put permanent inflatable signs. And that way,
There you go.
temporary signs, we allow inflatables in the same vein as we do temporary signs.
So I see inflatable signs. I was thinking of something to inflate.
Well, temporary signs we allow for 30 days.
And so what I'm saying is that
Well, that's fine, then.
we outlaw permanent inflatable signs. So it's not something just year round they have it there. So that would say that means temporary inflatable signs would be allowed, and temporary inflatable
Right.
signs we could say if it's inflatable we give them 60, 30, 15 or whatever, but it becomes a temporary sign at that point.
Inflatables, yeah, it's always temporary. Beacon lights.
That's like the yellow flashing.
We
beacon.
have one on 19 now. It's that really bright flashing blue light. You come over the bridge, you're going north, and
That's
it
not
looks
good.
like there's a state trooper over there all the time.
Yeah, that's a
Is it
problem.
on the water?
No, it's at the vape shop, I think it is, or cannabis shop right there next to the Thai restaurant right there on 19.
It's a solid blue.
No, it's like it looks like a state trooper's light.
Blue? It's a
Yeah,
blue
blue.
flashing light? That's a
Yeah.
beacon light.
Is it on
It
the
is.
Is it on the east side?
On the west side.
Because I saw one on the east side, but that was in Newport Richey.
No, this is on the west side. We see it all the time. We're
It's in
coming
Port
home at
Richey,
night,
Bob?
and it looks like there's a state trooper over there. It's in
Yeah.
front of the vape shop. I think it's a vape.
Yeah,
Used to be
yeah,
a tire
I-
shop.
I
It
saw
looks like
that
it's over
coming
there.
back, heading north on 19, but it was in Newport Richey.
No, it's on the other side. It's on our side of the bridge.
Is a beacon? Is it What's our definition?
Your definition is,
I mean, a beacon is a beacon.
oh, that's the wrong word.
It's a flashing light, right?
Any light source, whether fixed or activated, which is designed to attract attention to a specific location, thing, or place.
So it could be steady. It could be
Yep.
blinking,
You
rotating.
know, here, come here, look at, drawing attention.
Not to pay attention. I don't.
I don't think we should have them. They should still be illegal because they're definitely a hazard for drivers. And what about those spotlights? Shine spotlights up in the, those aren't beacon lights.
I don't even see
Yeah,
those anymore. You talking about the big,
I know.
big driving lights anymore?
I see them in Orlando a lot. I don't see them.
I've never seen any around here.
What are they?
Talking about the beam lights, like a flashlight.
Spotlights in the sky.
Oh, they just light up.
Yeah.
Do that?
Those might even be illegal, Bob, because of airplanes and stuff. They're
Well, yeah, they can't be in a flight zone, but I don't. That's
Those would be
considered
something temporary if you're having an event or something. I think you.
be a big grand opening or big event.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Are those considered beacon
I'm
lights?
sorry, I got distracted. My daughter.
Those, you know, those big spotlights that they shine way up in the sky and they kind of.
Those might be.
like
There's another.
Hollywood?
There's another. It could be because you're drawing
Some
attention.
people
I'm
call
just
them
like drawing
Hollywood
attention only to that location. But
Yeah,
I think there's
'cause-
another one that talks about they go straight
Because
up.
I actually like those in certain
that's a beam
circumstances.
light. There's a difference between a beam light and a beacon light.
I think so. I just was wondering. I don't see that on here.
Yeah, beacon light to me is like what sits on top
Beacon
of
is a flashing
Like
light, like
navigation
an
mark-
emergency vehicle or
markers.
something like that.
right? Like a lighthouse light on top of a navigation marker.
That's a beacon light.
Except for yours, you have your light being fixed or activated. Pretty good.
Back to back
Yeah.
signs.
So roof signs were taken out by planning and zoning, so we're gonna allow those, which I'm good with. Back-to-back signs with, well, you guys do roof signs too, I guess, right?
That's a sandwich sign, isn't it?
No, the roof.
Well, sandwich sign is that little A-frame sign.
A 45-degree. Oh,
Roof
45.
sign is sign on your roof.
I'm not talking about. I'm talking back to back sign.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I just make sure you go with roof signs, being out.
That's out. They're allowed to have them
Yeah.
now.
You can have a roof sign.
Okay, so make sure you guys also.
So
Right.
let
Shack
Shrimp,
needs
let
one.
Shrimp Shack know they can have a roof sign.
Rum River has a roof sign.
Rum River, yeah.
Remember, yeah, so
Hooters has a roof sign. They lots of roof signs. So back-to-back signs with faces at an angle that exceeds 45 degrees.
That
I
sounds
don't
like
know
a
what
sandwich
back
sign.
is.
I don't know what that is.
yeah,
I don't
I
know
don't
what
either.
that is.
I went back to your sandwich sign definition and it doesn't have any angle requirement. It's just one or two side faces connected to the top. With either
Veronica, you gotta.
Isn't it back to back a sandwich sign?
That's what I thought. That's what I said.
Well, the sandwich sign has to be portable. You move it around. So probably what this is saying that you can't have any back-to-back signs
It's
at
not.
that angle that's permanent. So you, I guess
Okay,
what that means.
gotcha.
Could
Okay.
be.
I'll leave it
Okay.
there.
Is it to me,
Yeah,
it's a
leave it there.
sandwich sign.
I'm good with that.
Windows. Okay, this is a big one. Window signs. So obviously, they don't apply. So we'll handle that down to 121.49.
Okay.
So this is basically just saying that we don't allow window signs unless they comply with that section. Signs in or upon any river, bay, lake, or other body of water within the limits of the city.
I disagree with that.
I would agree as well. I know
Yeah, I
there,
think
there
we
is
should-
a for real estate signs. You can have a real estate sign if you have a waterfront property. You can have one in the front and one in the back on the water side if it's navigable.
Well, I think if businesses,
In or upon the river, bay, or lake. Does that? Are they saying in the water itself? In it,
well,
in
it's,
it, or on top of the water? Not beside.
Oh, you know what,
adjacent to it.
In
the
or
water.
upon the,
Yeah,
any
in the
river,
water.
bay,
In the
lake.
water.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
In it.
Well, here's a good example.
Okay.
Tate does a tiki thing. He's got a tiki
Oh,
thing
yeah.
sitting out in the middle of the river there, with his tiki boat sign on it.
Charter boats do too. So
They do. They
Well,
do
they're
charter
wrapped.
road signs. What's
because,
that?
I mean, they're wrapped, so yeah. But if you look at the next one, signs attached or painted on piers, seawalls, other than official regulatory or warning signs, that should be taken out. But signs in or upon any river, bay, lake, that should be left in there because you don't want someone putting a sign or float. That's what I said, inflatable or floating sign out in the river, being a navigational hazard. It can float around out there, like you said, that tiki. That's. I'm not telling you to take it down, but that's a good
unless
example.
attached to a commercial
Well, and I will say that, so that where he's got that, but let's attach it.
To a
Good
commercial
point,
vessel.
because that's actually his tiki boat that
Right.
he uses, the sign's on that. So, but he
Plus it's
docks
attached.
it, and that's a very, I don't know if he can legally dock that there or not, because it's out.
It's not in the middle of it. He can. It's not in the channel.
It's actually good it's there because it keeps people out of that because it's a very low spot there.
There's
It's a
always
sandbar
there.
pretty much.
It's actually on it when the
Yeah.
tide's low. But painted on piers or seawalls should be limited to like 2 foot by 3 foot. So like docking for this restaurant or this restaurant, they put. I don't want to put a big 6 foot sign out there, but they can put a 2 by 3 foot sign out there.
Yeah, docking for Hooters or whatever.
Right. Now I'm trying to design city docks at Nick's Park. They should have, I'd like to have a sign out there. This is for citizens or it's parking $5 for docking for the day, unless you have a city pass or resident. And then you can have also private docking that we're going to charge yachts for that's got power, water, and Wi-Fi. So signs for that, or Hooters wants to put a sign out there, docking for Hooters only, they can do that.
So how do we change
That would be
verbiage here?
considered a warning sign, though, wouldn't it? If it's for Hooters only, isn't that like a
Double
And I
purpose
don't
sign.
know what the term in there also, official regulatory. I don't know what that encompasses. That might mean that if it's a business and it's, park only, you only can come here for this business, that might fall under that
Well,
definition.
official regulatory is like idle speed only,
That's where my first thought went, but
That's
I
what
don't know
that
that
is.
it may encompass more than that. That's what I'm saying,
or
which
it
I can
could
find
be
out.
No wake
beware
zone.
of rock or whatever.
What'd you say?
No wake zone.
Right. So,
Right.
But as far as like a business wants to put, I think they should be allowed to put a sign on their dock.
I think maybe probably why this is in here is if you go, let's say you go up down a residential canal area, you probably don't want to see everybody's seawall painted with signs all down through there. I would guess probably what that's
Very likely.
leaning towards. I mean, obviously, if you're on a commercial area restaurant, they want to do something that's somewhat different. But
Well,
you could, and again, if I paint a mural on my seawall, is that a sign?
not
It's
going to
like,
last
do that.
long.
Signs can be, and we talked about this, you have murals is covered somewhere else in your code. It's, it's artwork. If it's conveying, like, I think the conversation with the lady in the coffee shop or something, she put something on the side that was conveying that's what it was, that would be
A sign. But if it
If
was
it's just a pretty
wasn't
flower,
related to coffee,
yeah.
then it's
Yeah.
fine. Which
But
is
there's other provisions within your code that you have to meet that are not given the sign code.
which that seems to me kind of stupid anyway. That's like that's the whole fence conversation on Waterfront. You got to have some openings, but if you obscure it with landscaping bushes or whatever, and you can't see through it, that's okay.
Yeah.
So if you paint a mural, if you're a coffee shop, you put a mural on there, you can't have any reference to coffee in there, and it's just dumb. Some of the stuff. So, would you suggest we take that out, or
I think you should take it out, but have it limited as far as size. That's all.
You could always put residential signs attached to, so that you would be okay, Bob, with your commercial people.
Well, I'll put Merry Christmas out on my dock.
That's not a pier or
that's not a
seawall.
sign?
This is only piers or seawalls, though, not docks.
Oh, well,
You could
Pier
put it on the
can be
pier
considered-
underneath your dock.
I have a pier
Put it on-
too.
yeah, pier would be considered. Oh, a pier is a dock, isn't it?
It can
Yeah.
be. Yeah.
I was
can be.
thinking pier like the things that hold the dock up. What are those called?
I don't think there's a problem with people putting signs on private property. I don't see that just
no?
happening.
I agree.
Is that something that was existing?
Yeah, this is existing.
So
I think you should take it
pier
out,
can be
but-
defined in two different ways. A pier can be underneath the dock that supports the dock, or a pier can be
Well,
the
there's
plank itself.
floating piers, floating docks, floating piers. There's post pier too. That's permanent.
Can we maybe look at some other language on that? As opposed to,
If anybody does anything.
see if we have something a little more looser than just not at all. But yet, again, I think there's probably a point here that you don't.
And the thought is you might want to allow some commercial, but not necessarily private home.
But no
Yeah.
larger than certain
Yeah,
size.
certain-
I mean, you wouldn't want to go up down a canal and see FJB or
Right.
Trump's a jerk. You don't want to. It's stuff in the waterways, on the seawall. So,
But
you know,
you
say,
do see people with their
See that anyway.
Airbnbs advertising on their docks, and that doesn't look bad as long as the signage is nice. Because some of those houses are Airbnbs, so like that real cute one with all the tropical colors in Newport Richey on
Mhm.
Cody River.
Right.
You know which one I'm talking about. Across from Sims. They have a Airbnb sign,
Mhm.
and then you also have those no manatee signs, and
Right.
no wake manatees. And
no, I think all that stuff is good.
Yeah, okay.
Again, but I think the intent here was to keep some, you know, some stuff from,
Right.
that you don't want. So if we maybe just look at find something that might be a better way to implement that as opposed to just can't do it.
Let's see what I can find.
Not restrict everything.
Pole signs we thoroughly discussed.
It's a bag of worms.
multi prism signs.
Like prism signs.
Yeah,
Is
no,
that
that's
something that like flashes and turns real quick like this here?
See if we got a definition.
Yes, it is a sign made with a series of triangular vertical sections that turn and stop to show 3 pictures or messages in the copy area.
yeah, no.
Yeah, we don't need those, I don't think.
That sounds like something we don't even use anymore, doesn't it?
And
I picture that like a disco ball type thing going on there.
Yeah, I don't think we have too many of those going on right now.
Portable signs. This is interesting.
That's like the signs on trailers, or is that like on the side of the van driving around town?
What's the definition of portable sign? Sorry.
It's okay, my
We're going to take a break here in about 2 minutes.
that's my it's a mom mode had to go on.
Mom mode.
Sorry.
So, I mean, I think I don't like the cheap signs on. I don't see them anymore. It's on a trailer. You put the letters in it.
oh yeah, with those rollers.
Yeah, I don't like those.
The
But you've got a
arrow.
van with a digital reader board on each side of it, driving around town advertising business. I don't have a problem
I don't
with
think
that.
we regulate them.
We're getting definition.
Portable sign is a sign other than a sandwich sign, double or single faced, which is not permanently erected on the site and which may readily be moved from place to place, provided that this definition shall not apply to signs painted directly on vehicles or signs displayed through but not on windows.
So those signs you tow behind, whether it's digital or otherwise, says, you know,
Yeah, we don't want those.
We can't regulate.
But I think it's, from a temporary standpoint, you do if you want to advertise an event or whatever. When we had the hurricane stuff, there was a big sign there, the portable sign in the parking lot of the trailer park or the Pelican Bay that said comfort station down here, whatever. That's a portable sign. It's a
So
filtered
remember, they were
sign.
feeding people over here at the
Right.
park and
But,
stuff,
you know,
Waterfront.
And I'll give you an example. Say the chamber does this market on the weekend or whatever. They might want to have one of those to let people know that's there. So
But you don't want those arrow signs.
You don't want it
along
permanent.
19. Remember the old arrow signs that were on rollers, and a
Yeah.
business
Oh,
owner
yeah,
could
yeah,
roll
yeah,
them out
yeah,
to the
yeah,
edge
yeah.
of the road, and it, you
Well,
could
that's
those
what
were the
I was-
days,
put
weren't they,
lettering in
Christine?
there.
That's what I was
I mean,
thinking
you could
about.
get one at the flea market or something.
But they got portable signs that are digital too. They're really nice.
Yeah.
And they have some are actually you can not just digital, but you can put. They look a lot better than
Add
the old ones. Like
add
she said, I don't like them old
portable
ones.
signs where people are trying to use portable signs on a permanent basis. Like
yeah, I think it's the same thing we did for
Yeah.
the inflatable.
Okay.
Your definition for portable is that it's not permanent.
right.
So to say in here, no
not
permanent
mounted
portable
up.
signs,
That's
Got an
contrary to
extension cord, whatever.
Oh, so we don't need to put that. So basically, we would just have to take it
so
out at that point.
your portable sign definition means a sign other than a sandwich sign, double or single face, which is not permanently erected. The idea is that
Well, not
it's
permanently
not
erected.
erected. So you want to say
So it's on wheels. Am I right?
Yes.
I mean, what are you laughing for?
I'm just laughing. No. So you want to allow.
This is the career path you chose.
This, some days wonder. Some days I wonder.
And the reason we had to be so thorough is because of you.
I know. It's all, actually, I don't think this is Matt's fault. Matt started this, right? Matt Cobbler, so I'm joking. No, he
Yeah.
did that paper sign. He did that paper sign.
I think
Just
I
like her.
started actually. He was just doing what he was
it
asked.
needed to happen. So you want to allow portable signs as long as it's not permanently placed, and you want it to be on wheels only. Or that's just one example.
Well, no, I mean, it doesn't have to be on wheels. It just, I mean, you can tell it's not affixed to the ground. Maybe it just sets there.
we'd like to be able to allow portable signs on a temporary basis, so long as people don't try to take advantage of it and use the permit.
And they would still require a permit. right?
Not necessarily.
No,
No, because right now we don't allow it.
so
Yes, we need to remove it
Portable
from
signs.
here.
You also have some of those car dealerships that will take a sign, even though the portable sign excludes the car signs, right? We've had businesses, car dealerships specifically, that will take car signs and attach it to the windows of the car that they have in the parking lot. And every day they can move that. So if we leave that, that's really allowing that.
Well, they can do that anyway.
That's a portable sign. Right now, we don't allow that.
Signs in the car that says for sale.
Yeah,
So we
because
use
it's
and have
considered
used
off-site signage. It's not attached to the
on the
building.
license plate bracket, literally like bolts where the tag goes when they're under line, it says for sale.
Oh, you guys do that?
I mean, a lot of people do that. It's a really nice looking, bolt to tell your cars, yeah, for sale. They're all for sale.
Actually, the window sticker is a sign.
Right, I'm
It
not-
is. And that's a requirement, federal guide. That's a federal requirement.
well, that's on a window though. That's different.
That's what she was saying, that they don't allow the
They're like banners. These are like banners. There may be like 2 feet, 3 feet banners
inside the car.
that on the outside of the windows, and they tie them through the inside of the window. So they lower the window, they tie them.
It's like,
I'm
it's
only
like
showing
across
what
the
I
front
see,
of the
and it
car.
goes across the front or the back of the car, the back window
Like
of the
kind of like
car.
a ribbon, like you would have wrapping
Yeah.
paper or something that wraps around
And
there.
they put cars for sale.
Just one, like one
Yeah.
in a business?
And then every day they move it from car to car. That would be a portable sign.
I mean,
So if you allow that, that's potentially what we could wind up having.
Yeah. What's so,
I
what's so
think here in
wrong
the
about that?
city,
I guess, is it?
we have so much other stuff to clean up that we should go after a couple car dealers that are trying to get people to come buy cars from
I'm
us.
just saying that
Just
that's
my
what we
opinion.
see.
Yeah, no, that's good.
That's just
is
what
it-
we
is
It's
there
see.
just, it's not one,
And
it's
it's-
not in every car. They just try to put it in one car on the
Yeah.
lot. That
Well,
doesn't,
And that was one time, 15 years.
Yeah.
So that's not something that you see very often either.
they can't use like whiteout or whatever that, like it was a shoe marker or whatever to write on cars, $5,000 anymore. They can't
Shoe
do that
polish,
anymore.
yeah.
That
I was
would
the
be
king of the shoe
restricted.
polish in my day.
I remember that. Yeah.
To put the price on it, you
Do you
mean?
remember that?
Oh,
They
yeah.
take white shoe polish and write on the windows $5,000
Yeah.
DN or whatever. You know, you'd see
Yeah,
all
at least-
over the
They, we still do that. We don't allow that.
I don't see it.
I see
seen
businesses
it.
writing Christmas decorations.
I'd be
on
more
all
Car
cars.
concerned
dealers
about
do it. They
shoe
write on the
polish
cars. They have,
writing
you have a
and
guy that
banners.
comes by and they pay him to put it on the car. $5,000 off.
Yeah, that's still going on. I've seen that in places where you can see.
Hey, I know y'all don't like car dealers, okay, but we're some pretty good
I
people.
don't see a problem with that. I mean, it's,
But that's
when
that's
I pass
not
a
a
car dealer, I
problem.
expect to see the price. Matter of fact, I want to see the prices of the shoe polish, so I don't have to go in past the what's the snake
Car
pit,
sale.
go by the snake pit, and have somebody bug me.
All right, so you want, look at allowing portable signs as long as they're not permanent. That's the idea.
I like the car shop. I don't like the car talk.
You can't paint every car dealer.
So what, say it again.
I'll say the goal for portable signs is you'd like to allow them as long as they're not permanent.
Right.
At this point, that's the
Yeah,
that's the point.
I
Okay.
think that's what I'm hearing.
Okay.
Pennants. That's like that triangle thing.
A pennant's like where you tie it on one side of the lot, you bring it over to the other side of the lot, it's got little triangles, they're all yellow and flashy. And
Well, no, that's actually a.
Those are pennants.
Right.
So
You guys define pennant as any flag-like or streamer-like piece of cloth, plastic, or paper attached to any staff, cord, building, or other structure at only one or two edges. The remainder hangs loose.
So we have those
Just like drinks.
those signs that they got the big goes up and you got like a big flag and the flag got the business wrote down the side of it. We allow those.
Is that a
But
pennant
that's-
sign?
Well, it flutters in the wind.
Let me see what
Pennant
a pennant
signs are,
sign
like he said, they're basically a whole row of pennants.
I've seen pennants that like some done wrong too. So,
Well, same as balloons.
what's that?
Same thing with balloons.
Don't they have pennants on sailboats? They go up like this and come down and come down to
This
the
feels
other
like
side.
we're
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
the other kind of pentatonic.
They'll have pennants on fishing boats on the type of fish they've caught that day, how many they've caught that day, and oh yeah, you see them all over the place.
Do we have a pennant problem in the city?
Like, well, you
No.
shouldn't because they're prohibited right now.
Because Veronica's on them.
This whole list.
Yeah,
is prohibited.
that's Veronica's big thing. No pin
Prohibited
signs.
stuff,
So-
yeah.
You know, but we're all for development, right? We're all for businesses.
Oh.
They need to promote, but at the same time,
That's
we're
a
also
pennant
trying to
sign.
clean up,
Right.
right? And trying to clean up and make it look aesthetically nice. So the more we keep allowing all of these little things, you'd be surprised that people
Yep.
aren't going to start putting these things everywhere.
Yep.
But I mean, I understand that we want signs, pole signs and stuff, but the aesthetic, I mean, that's a direction that we probably, want to start heading into as well, to clean it up. But do we have this issue? No, I don't think I've ever seen one up. since
So,
I've been here.
yeah, exactly. That's my whole point. We're going to regulate something she's not even written any actions on at all. It's 10 years.
Because they're
They
outlawed.
shouldn't have to because they're not allowed.
They're not allowed
They're
that.
not
So
allowed.
Hold on.
Here.
This isn't new.
Have you had to, because car dealers don't necessarily go to the code before they hang those things across the lot. Okay, they're hanging across the lot. And you wonder if the zoning guy might say something.
If you look at this, like, here's some examples with it as and I can think about, depending on what your business is or whatever, or what kind of property you have, this is decorative. Now, does it have to actually say something to be a sign?
Gives a message.
So, like this picture here you see, that's just decoration.
So that's not a sign.
Pennants,
What?
pennants are
Saying
sales.
But if each one of those pennants-
like
So if you put up one of these things here and it was just doing this, no big deal.
But what happens? The storm
It would
comes
not
through
be
and they
covered
rip
by
and they
this
fly all
plan.
over the place.
Come down, you fix them, or you buy new.
I don't know if they get ripped and they're all over everybody else's property.
Well, that depends on what kind of car dealer you are. You take two different kinds right now.
But that's the point.
Yeah.
That's the point.
I say pennants stay.
Not everybody behaves
stay
like
out.
you do, Chris.
Stay prohibited because from what I can find online about what a pennant sign is, they should not be allowed. And I think we need to look at portable signs
prohibited.
again.
But pennant decoration is okay.
That's fine. I'm good with that. Let's move on.
Okay.
Don't dig up those bones.
What the hell is it? I'm wondering what's a festoon?
I'm ordering mine right now.
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, those are okay.
Festoon.
They're not okay? You don't like those?
Festoon is more like hammer pants.
That's kind of like a dancing gorilla,
That's
though.
right.
Right.
We've allowed those. We've allowed those grand openings. We've allowed them very temporarily for like a week.
Should be.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
we've allowed those. A lot of the stuff in this code that's prohibited, we haven't either seen or have had major issues with them. Our
Okay.
biggest issue, I think, at this point is the maintenance, right? Maintain what you have and make it look nice.
I think we need to, before we mess this up, we need to go back to portable signs and put a stronger restriction on it for like a 48-hour use only or something, rather than just not
Put
putting a time
7-day
limit
period
on
or a 30-day
it.
period.
Because
Yeah.
just saying it used permanent, it really could.
So what do you
Well,
think?
temporary signs already is 30 days.
No, but I think it should be like 48 hours or something, or like for the weekend things at the park, or of course that's government, but I think if it is portable, it needs to be restricted to a weekend or
I'd say a
an
week.
opening, maybe 7 days tops.
7
not,
days maybe.
not 30 days.
They got a week.
Because then they only have to go a
promotion.
short time. They can drag it around the back, go a short time, put it out again as another
Well,
time
you do that
frame.
Grand opening is typically
Yeah.
longer than 7 days. A grand opening is like 30 days.
They can do that with any time frame, actually.
I just think you could run
What are you
with
referring
portable
to?
signs.
Portable signs.
The portable
Oh,
signs.
no,
I think
no,
those
yeah,
could
yeah.
get.
Let me ask this:
Okay.
instead of removing portable signs, the sign, and I don't know exactly what you all are picturing, so I was having my child crisis at that moment. But are the things that you're picturing as portable, are they really some other form of sign that would fit in here? Like it could be a sandwich sign.
No,
that
I'm
you're putting
thinking
out. I don't.
She's thinking of the wheels, you roll it out.
right. Yeah, and it could be digital. Today they're probably digital, but back in the day, they used to be. You'd have letters. And you would
Plastic
stick them into those little slots, and
Right,
you could say
okay.
50% off sale, and drag it out to the street, and there would be an arrow pointing to your business. Now those are more digital. But if you allow it for 30 days, then they could put that. I mean, that would be a great way to advertise, but do we really want to see it?
I don't really see
But
it
see,
with those, Christina.
They could make that into a sandwich sign. And that's
That's right there within 5 feet of their door versus out there by the side of the road or, you know,
just thoughts.
I'm just,
and the inflatable signs, I was going to look at the timeframes, so maybe we can kind of maybe have those.
Well, you could put in here any signs that's being abusing any of our codes, and could
You got to be specific. You can't
Gotta
say
be
you can't say we don't. You know, when we decide it's long enough, you don't get to do it. You have to give them objective criteria so they know, and code enforcement knows, and there's not any misunderstanding. That's the hardest part of your job, right there. Talking about the boats. It needs to have a nice cover. What does that mean? Objective criteria. So it's difficult.
I almost
So
think
if you want to allow
leave
portable sign, it might
signs
be,
in here.
you know,
Leave it as a
restricted.
prohibited. I mean, you
Yep,
don't get a lot
I
of
mean,
it anyway, and
no.
if you try to restrict it, I don't know that I haven't heard anything that's any kind of restriction that sounds like what we have in mind. I think that could be abused if it's
You don't think temporary is enough restriction?
portable.
Well, right, but portable is.
I think you see portable signs out for 30 days, and I don't think if people are aware of that and they can start doing that, and then
you can
everybody.
restrict the time frame longer or
Yeah,
shorter.
but we got back to 30 days. Like
Well, I'm saying
grand
that
openings are
by
30 days.
definition,
it could be-
temporary is 30. They don't mean it.
And by
I say
definition, they could roll
48
behind their
hours.
building for 2 days and then bring it back out for another 30.
48 hours, 2 times a
And
year.
that's why I was thinking. In my thought, it sounds like that. What I'm envisioning is what you're telling me. Maybe I'm picturing it wrong. If they really wanted that sort of sign, there was something else they could do that would not be considered a portable sign. Sandwich board.
Sure.
whatever
Oh,
you call
I
it.
see what you're saying now.
Fireworks
Use an
displays.
alternative that
Yeah.
is within the code.
Fireworks
I say
says
leave it in.
they're tent
Well,
up for 6
So-
weeks, and they'll have a temporary sign out there for the whole time.
So temporary signs, section 121-10 states that unless otherwise specified in this chapter, all temporary signs shall not be posted more than 15 calendar days prior to the time of the event or activity to which they are related, and shall be removed no later than 5 calendar days after the conclusion of the event
So
or
it's 20
activity.
days duration, right? Well,
The maximum duration
before
of an
15 and
event.
5, so whatever the duration is.
So the maximum duration of an event or activity shall be no longer than 2 weeks.
Okay, so you got 14 plus 15, which is 29, plus 5, which is 34. So roughly a month. Max would be on temporary sign. So these are permitted,
Portable sign.
right? If we allowed them, it would be
These are
permitted. So I think that would.
if they allowed portable signs, would they be permitted? You have some signs that don't require permits, some do. You have to.
I would think it will.
Signs will all require a permit because you're in a flood zone.
Well, there are things that don't. I think I get that. But if we wanted to allow for portable signs, I think they have application, right?
Okay, right.
And it's temporary, and whether we use the same temporary guidelines, which I don't like creating special cases for
Right.
special things. So, and I don't think 34 days is a necessarily long time, but if it's if we make it as a permittable item, so that they have to get a permit every time, that kind of solves the problem of a 34 day. I did my max 34 days. I got to come back and get a permit again. This, I guess, we would have the ability to deny that because they already had one.
Not unless the code says you get one a year.
If it requires
Yeah,
a
we can do
permit,
that too. We can say permit. You only allow
Kinda like your
2 a
garage,
year.
your
Or,
garage sale, you get 2 permits
requires a
year.
permit, you can always deny it. Yeah.
so I think that would solve the problem, and it would open
Right.
up the ability to do that. And I think we need the ability to do that because
Right, I agree, but we
What do you think?
weren't getting close. So if we want
Yeah.
to take the time to build it to something that
And
hey,
then-
we can make some money in
Right.
the permitting department on that too.
I noted that.
So we were on festoons.
She allows them for like a week or a few days.
No permanent festoons.
I do a permit,
Permanent festoons are not allowed, but temporary they're good.
they're not allowed at all.
Well, not allowed at all, but I'd say if we do the same thing we did for the.
We've never cited someone or gave them an NOV because they had a grand opening. Again,
Well, I know that. I appreciate that. That's great.
you're
but
wanting to go
by
for
code, you can't do that.
correct.
So I want to fix the code so the practice that you do, because here's what happens. Somebody comes in and says, I want to do it. Well, I can't do it. Well, I've seen them here all these times. I want to do it. So I want to make the code align with what we're actually practicing.
Festoons unless otherwise used for grand opening.
Well, just
Something.
put no permanent festoons. I mean, they can have
Permanent,
temporary festoon.
Okay, so you're gonna have to define it every time though. If you're gonna say not permanent, okay, well, is there gonna be the temporary she just read?
Yes, it falls in line with the temp. If it's not permanent,
Festoon for the 15 days before, or whatever that, you know.
Well, you could get like a 5-day permit for $20 or a 15-day permit for $50, maybe.
That's what you have to decide. If you want to take them away but have them for 5 days, and
What do you think?
The permit, that's what.
What do you want to do? Something like that?
That's what they're doing.
Whatever council wants to do, we'll do.
so is there objection
That's
to
not-
again? Do we need to have every sign has its own duration? I would definitely not want to do that, but you can do that, right? You can be as granular as you want. We already have the temporary signs. So the maximum temporary sign would be out there would be 34 days based on that code. 14-day max event, 15-day prior, 5 days after, and so it's 34 days. And if everything that we want to allow, just not on a permanent basis, falls to the temporary guidelines, I think we'll cover. And you can also do the permitting as well if you want to do that.
I personally don't want to see festoons a lot. I think a grand opening only. All cities everywhere are eliminating those.
They are.
If we put it in our code that they're allowable for just about anything as long as you get a permit and it's a short time, you're going to see festoons all over 19.
They've caused accidents. They've come loose
they
and got
need
in
to
traffic
they
and
need to
blinded
remain
people.
out.
I mean, it's very rare, but
And
it does
just
happen.
allow our codes department to let it
Right.
slide on a grand opening or something, but don't put it in our code that
Well,
doesn't have
you
those.
can't technically do that. It's a problem. And I don't-
Well, but
That's called, it becomes selective enforcement. So if they don't like that business, all of a sudden the guy comes out there and he says,
True.
well, you can't have festoons.
Then- for
You don't want festoons?
24-hour
saying is
use
they
for a
don't.
grand
I
She said,
opening.
leave it open, they let them choose how they
I
want to
agree.
enforce it.
If code says you don't have it, you don't have it. I think it's a very valid reason to not let them have it. But you
Right.
can't say, oh no, go, do
Okay.
what you want.
Well, how about 24-hour permit for grand opening use only, or 48-hour permit for grand opening use only, and that eliminates seeing festoons because each individual business can have their 50% off sale, their grand opening, their 5-year anniversary or whatever, and all of a sudden you're seeing festoons popping up everywhere. So what would codes allow it for? How long would they allow it for based on their discretion that they've used so far? Build that in rather than allow it to just be a free-for-all of festoons in Port Richey.
They were prohibited before, but we
They
would
still are.
allow, and they still are, but we would allow if it was a grand opening.
For how long would you
For
allow
no
it?
more than 72 hours.
See, so then build that in. For
Yeah.
grand openings only for 72 hours, and then that
And they need
eliminates
to permit
everything
it?
else.
Only grand openings?
No.
No
Yeah,
permit?
no.
Okay.
Everywhere are getting rid of those
Never
because
sales.
if you
We never
add it to a
issued
50% off sale, you could have 12 festoons, 20 festoons along 19
Right,
at
I
any
mean-
given time.
We never had a big issue with that anyway.
Right. Well,
But
that,
we would allow them 72 hours because I know on 19, there was something, and that's what I said earlier, with those machines going,
Yeah.
with the air blowing and the distraction to the motorist. There was something about
Yeah,
that.
are they even legal?
They've caused, I mean,
They
municipalities
might
have
not
gotten
be
sued
legal.
over them,
Yeah, they
why
really
they
have.
eliminate. But I mean, I'd like to see if someone wants to use it. I mean, she lets them use it for 3 days. I don't see a big problem with it, except a storm comes.
I
and
saw
causes a
I saw
problem.
one that was really cool, and it was kind of an inflatable, but its arm was doing this. I can't remember what it was, but it was really cool. I mean, they can be neat and they can be obnoxious, but again, I think you don't want to let them out there all the time. But for events, like say the chamber does their market, you might want a festoon out there to
And so that's
Well,
different, that we could classify that under a special event ordinance. You can maybe allow that temporary for that.
yeah.
Because
But I don't want somebody.
But
that's not going to
what
be
is
up for a
considered
long
a-
period of
What
time
is considered
either.
a special event, a waterfront activity or a 50% off sale?
Yeah, no, I agree. We don't want
Right.
50 cents off ice
Not,
cream
no
cups today.
sales.
So what do you do?
Eliminate sales.
Eliminate. It has to be an event, not an
Not a
event would
sale
be
event,
uh,
not a discount event.
Maybe
not
classifying
not-
that.
And you,
not
they
associated
can,
sales.
and they can only do this once per year, calendar year too.
A
Maybe.
calendar. I mean, the
Discount.
market was monthly. So,
Well, they can't do it every month. That's kind of what we're saying.
but you're talking about it's only like during the weekend, and it was only actually on Sunday.
But then,
And I could,
actually, then you're going to see more festoons.
You're gonna
Let's
see
say
a bunch of drunken sailors
build
on the
in
side of the road.
discretion that they've used all along into the code to where they keep doing things the way they've always done, but don't build in more because, yeah, sure, they might be great at the waterfront on occasion, but we've never attempted to do that for whatever reason. So why take the opportunity to start doing it now?
well, I'll give you an example. The reason that they stopped doing the market in the waterfront park is because nobody was going. And so it became, so now.
But people do realize waterfront is going. I mean, you can see that when you're driving by Waterfront Park, you can see that an activity is going on there. Whether they pull in or not isn't going to be dependent on the
you
festivities.
can't actually because the waterfront park is set back off Old Post Road, and they were trying to put some. Matter of fact, I think they had some flag banners, which are also those pennant things. I think those are also what are those
They're called swoopers.
those feathers.
Yeah,
That's
those are
something else.
flags.
Those feather
fall
signs, are they
under
out or
flags.
no?
Swoopers that go up like this, that they turn, they got like
Right.
a little
Yeah,
round.
those are-
Yeah, but there's also
We can
stations.
do
Those fall
that.
under flags.
But the issue is again, festoons. It's probably the ways to do it. It's only a lot of other ways. I think the point is there might be an application for that because, like I said, they do draw attention because they're moving and they can be done. But too long is annoying. Again, I think there's application for all these things. Do you want to just and I'll go back to the conversation we had about changing the waterfront district for to allow rentals of watercraft. They came out in droves because now you can potentially rent jet skis, and all of a sudden we're going to have jet ski rentals across the thing. You're going to have that anything. If you open it up, are you really going to have everybody has a festoon? Especially if you limit it to special events or whatever. I think the answer is no. I guess potentially you could have that, but it doesn't make any sense.
Well, they are eye-catching, though.
Yeah, so
given the
I think, and that's the point. There is an application where you want that eye catching. Let's say that we're having a city event. Obviously, we can do it. I guess we can do anything we want. But, we're not going to do those type of things. The chamber may do a special event. We may have a scallop festival in the future or something.
But then the city could use them if they wanted to.
The city
right?
can use them anyway because
Right.
we aren't restricted to our.
So we're talking
So
about
it's a government
we're
sign
talking
and a
about a
government
private person at the park or something running the park. We can already have them, so it's kind of it's a moot point. Who else needs them at the park entrance for us to be going into this kind of?
Well, I'm not saying anybody needs anything.
Yeah.
I just and I'm okay if you want to outlaw them altogether. I just
Well, I'd say just build in what discretion the code
Sure.
department
They've
has
already
already
been, I'll get
used.
with Veronica
Yeah.
and work with what they've been doing, and we can incorporate.
Yes, 72 hours.
Right.
But I mean, maybe a permit.
right. So
I'll get with Veronica.
just so we're clear, we're not
Something
building
small,
discretion.
just
You
so
can't
that-
build in
that will
discretion.
know.
It's gonna be
But
next
what-
Well, I'm
The
saying
practice, we codify their practice.
right, whatever their practice was, right,
Find their practice.
right.
Yes. I love when the attorney strokes my ego.
Can we limit?
She knows how to do it too good.
Can we limit to how many festoons we have at one time in the city?
Let's take a quick bio
Maybe
break.
not.
5 minutes recess.
Right.
I think we closed the book on
Yeah,
and
we
set sail.
festooned ourselves
Yeah.
to death here.
Golly, 45 minutes of festoon. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Lisa says she's glad to home. Your chair squeaks loud. Squeaking? No, loud. I didn't notice. Oh, Lisa, the people she's waiting on, their conveyor belt broke on the truck. First time ever, they said, so that's why she didn't be able to, so she left. Unload the shingles. I've already ordered. How's everything going? How's my friend? Living the dream. Monday. Huh? You sick? I've been sick for 3 days. There's something going around. Like the tickling throat and all that stuff. I'll be got a flight to tomorrow. Yeah, whatever it is, I got it the other day when I was going around Daryl doing our site visit, water plant, all that stuff. Like right after that, so I'm going.
I'll be around tomorrow afternoon. So if you want to get together, just walk.
Yes. There's no way you guys are gonna get through this.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Well, this whole code, there's no way they're gonna get through this today. You guys still have any? Because I was good at the listening, I don't want all of them.
Plus, we were gonna talk about how long ago.
I didn't like lunch, like I drove away after the fight, you saw that, right? Yeah.
And then we'll go over it first.
I got your email, that's sorry. Yeah, we'll look out, yeah. No reason to meet all those of you guys have on. It's been needing to be done for a long time. This is, we're like 15 years, 18 years later, I will tell you that every community uses and it takes a lot. And science is difficult. Science is a difficult one because your whole aesthetic is what you're trying to change, right?
Meeting on Wednesday. It's probably delayed a little bit. You could join the Zoom so you can actually interact with us.
Sorry.
Bowman? Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna put you on speaker because I need to find out about, what, so I'll put you on speaker for a minute. We'll find on, what we'll hear in a second.
I'm gonna put you on speaker.
Eric?
Yeah.
Can we agree this is going to take a lot longer than we have now?
I get it.
Okay.
Let's jump back in. Okay, we're going to Zoom. Okay, couple things. Before we get started back in, we need to see if Wednesday for a special meeting about the Stantec changes, about the dredging stuff, the surveys and all that. What time, Ashley, were we proposing?
I didn't propose a specific time, so I guess it just depends on everybody's schedule.
It would be during the day.
Wednesday needs to be Wednesday, no later.
So,
Well,
what works for Wednesday?
I'm gonna be in
Really?
Orlando.
I'm going to be in Virginia, but I can jump.
Zoom's fine. We just need to have a sitting quorum. So,
I need to have
Lisa, are you going to be here
Yes, I should be able to be there, I believe.
on Wednesday?
If I
Okay.
don't- If I don't have a roofing problem, so, but
You-
as of right now, yes.
And you can be here Wednesday?
Yes, but I have to check this.
Yes, you check your calendar.
Yes. Has to be three. Eric?
We have to have 3 council people sitting.
Okay. Sorry about that, yeah.
What are our time options? Because I do have a meeting
What are your availability?
Wednesday. I'm taking 10 through 3:30.
10 through 3:30?
3:30.
Could you be here at 3:30?
Yeah.
I don't anticipate the meeting would last very long, maybe an hour at max.
I would hope it could be that long.
Do you need to be here for that?
I was gonna say, I would need to be here, but I'd have to do Zoom because I can't.
Remote, okay. What if we did
Or
this?
I could do bright and early too. Real
Right.
early in the morning, whatever time.
I'd rather do-
I'm up crack of dawn.
Yeah.
Eric, I have a 4 to 5 national Zoom call. 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock.
I guess it can't be tomorrow at this point, right?
No, it can. It can be tomorrow because the events committee doesn't meet until, well, no, because we need 24-hour notice.
And we're trying to get him to recalculate now because you made one more change.
Tomorrow.
Right. Well,
Tomorrow I would have an issue anyway.
Tomorrow night?
Tomorrow. Well, I don't know how long they're going to take.
Well, tomorrow, I'd say tomorrow at 6.
I cannot do tomorrow at 6.
Tomorrow, you can't do tomorrow at 6. The events committee meets tomorrow at 5.
Oh, that's right. I knew it was something else.
It would have to be earlier tomorrow, but then
Can
Wednesday early, I should be all right.
well, what, you said you got something at 10?
Yes, 10 to 3:30.
Is it, you got to be somewhere at 10? Close to here?
Yes. Uh-huh.
I'm not trying to pry. I'm just trying to see
Yeah, it
how
could be in Newport Richey.
so you'd have to leave here probably 10 minutes before you're.
And I don't have a 24-hour window for cancellation left anymore, so. Yeah.
Do we need to do it earlier than 10 on Wednesday? That's fine.
What did you say? 24-hour? It's
Yeah, I
only.
need a 24-hour.
It's only Monday.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, yeah.
I can do something early Wednesday if you want to. Or
Well, she.
Or really early Wednesday. I'd rather not try to reschedule it. But I could come in 8, 7, whatever anybody wants to
I can do an 8 or 9 o'clock Wednesday. Fine with me.
Does 8 or 9 o'clock work for you? 9 would probably be okay. Like I said, he's basically going to present the change we're talking about, just to make sure we're all on board with the maps and the
9
cost.
a.m. Will there be coffee?
We could arrange coffee for sure. Maybe even donuts if Andy
Donuts
says.
left over from today. We'll just
did
bring
Sal
those
say
out.
he's coming back? The guy from Stintec, or I just think we're giving it.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't think he's coming back.
He's not coming back. It's just have one minor addition.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the other thing too. Okay. So yeah, 9 a.m. Is that too early for you? Christine's got something that she could cancel. She didn't really want to. That takes her from 10 to 3:30. So that's majority of the day. And then as you get later on in the day, Chris got something for 4 to 5.
You said 9?
9, yeah.
9 on Wednesday.
Does that work for you?
Yep, I'll be there in my pajamas though.
Okay.
For coffee and donuts.
Okay.
Great.
Okay.
Thanks for working with me.
Okay. And you, Zoom, okay, now?
In Orlando, no, I won't be available at all.
Oh, you won't?
At all.
Oh, Wednesday at all, anytime. Oh, yeah, one parks, I guess. Or,
Phone in?
He's not available at all.
I'm available.
I can call in.
well, okay, so just reality. We've already discussed it. He's coming back. The preliminary, the cost is a little bit less than the whole cost, which
471K.
and it was $490, I think was the other.
Yeah, so it came down to 471K.
So it's actually, it was basically a wash, but it was less. I did realize that when we, that Deidre circle thing, that big long tail with the circle, that we took all that out. We actually probably need to do the first portion of it because we've got residents over there that are impacted. So it's not just down deep circle where they're blocked by that pipe. It's the other people on the point and stuff. So I had asked City Manager Sal to talk to Stantec to put that back in, that one section. And I can pull you up a map. But what I'm getting at is well, so we want to try to schedule where everybody's here. But in reality, there's not nothing really. It's just basically coming back to us to show us that, yeah, the cost was about the same. We want to go forward with that.
One thing I wanted to talk to you about, which by the way, I thought Brasher Park boat ramp was a good idea. But you have to dredge either all the way out to the stilt houses, because there's no water out there at low tide at all. You can't get a boat.
Right on really low tides or whatever.
Bring Brasher Park over off the point by his house, or the point right to the channel. That would be closer.
All right, and so the goal on that was to, if we do that, again, whatever dredging would happen in the future for whatever things, that's on down the line. This is just the study to be able to get to that point. If we go that route, we would be looking at probably federal dollars to create that, or state dollars to create that from where we drop off a Brasher on out. And yes, that would definitely be something we would pursue. And the reason we could go after that was we're creating water access at Brasher Park. We need this in order to complete that. And so I think we need to do our part first because we don't really control past Brasher Park. So but yes, you're right. And that was definitely, we would, if we start to go that path.
Dredge there, you have to you got to go all the way out past the or
Yeah,
close
but-
to go to our channel.
And it would still be usable you just have to watch the tides. But if we wanted to be usable all the time, we would have to make sure that. But again, even usable during the tides is a huge help. Water access.
I
Otherwise,
can get my
would pursue additional funding to make that happen. So, but yes. Yeah. So if you can't be here, do you feel comfortable not being here, given that?
one of my pet peeves, but I'm okay. We put stuff that you guys know what we need to do.
Yeah, I mean, we've already hashed out. It's really just he's coming back with what we said. We're going to make sure that that was what it was. There is that little addition that I'm having look at the top of the tail, so we don't leave those residents along that peninsula out. And so I'm assuming that would probably put us back around that. I think it's still a wash because we're coming in about.
Who live by you mean?
I'm not sure what the name of it is. It's you know where Bloom lives. At the end of Ebb Tide Lane. So basically, you have the top of Ebb Tide Lane on down. There's like a little bay area there, and then it narrows to where it's blocked off by that pipe.
So you want to extend Grand Boulevard over a little bit too. We can do that too.
Where?
Grand Boulevard.
By your place? Yeah, that's already in there. So basically, the exact thing we talked about. The only thing that would be different is if we decide to go ahead and do the top of that where we pick up Ebb Tide Lane, so we don't leave those residents on Ebb Tide Lane. And like I said, based on what we found so far, I think those numbers are coming in $20,000 less than the original 490, right?
So that's the case.
It's
On Wednesday, do Bob and I need to be on the call?
it's that good. All right. So the other thing, so we're trying to set the meeting up, obviously, and I think we were all in agreement that we're going to do it 9:00 on Wednesday. But you guys, you couldn't make it. You could, but it'd be virtual, right? Okay, but you can't make it. Are you okay with not being part of that, knowing that?
Oh, I'm okay with
Okay. The only thing that would change is we would go ahead and add that little top of the
That's
table.
fine. We went over all that.
And I'll be Zoom.
And if something comes up or whatever, you'll have your cell phone on, right?
Absolutely.
I can call you if you
Absolutely.
need me to wait or everything.
I can do FaceTime or whatever.
Okay. All right, so let's do that. Let's set it for 9:00 on Wednesday.
Done.
Is that good with you, Lisa?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna let.
Don't forget her donuts.
If I can
Yeah,
work,
don't forget Don's coffee.
if I
That's
can
right.
work it in on Zoom, I'll let you know.
Okay, cool. And I think is there anything else I need Lisa for on that? No, they're good. Thanks, Lisa.
All right. If you
All right.
need me again, just call.
All right, bye. Okay. The other thing is on this meeting, how long do you guys want to go? Obviously, I think we probably we go a little longer and we can schedule another one. I mean, we can keep going until it's finished, but there's a lot of stuff here. I do want to say this is a great exercise to actually go through something like this and line by line, especially the sign code. It's been around a long time. I think we're with our goal of all being more business friendly and all that. I think this is going to pay huge dividends, but we need to get it right. So I appreciate the time involved in this, but it does take some time. So what's y'all's preference?
Can we have some pizzas, the Little Caesars pizzas, and just keep going? I'm just starving.
I mean, that's the deal here. I've got to get up at 3 in the morning to fly out, and we're already at 4 o'clock. So how long?
Well, that's why. How long are you guys comfortable? You want
I think
to cut it off at now?
I think we cut it off now and we reschedule another time and continue to do this. I think this is important enough. It's not 911 stuff. It's just we need to clean it up to do it. And I think we schedule it to do it.
One thing we could do, and I'm okay with that too, but I think if we at least finish out this one section we're on, which we're down to,
What page you on there?
so we're on item number 20, 19 festoons, 20 banner signs. If we just finish out, and all this stuff is probably added because of the law, so that's really not going to change any of that. So if we just finish out this section, and we'll pick up on section 121.4 in a separate meeting, but we could stay for a little bit longer to finish this out. You guys go with that?
Go and do it.
Just when? Next Monday?
Week from today.
I'll be here next Tuesday what's next? The next Tuesday's the 26th.
Next week's council.
So I can come
So
back
obviously
that day.
with Nancy here, we save travel time because because you're going to be here Tuesday.
I could be here Tuesday.
And when's the next time you're going to be here outside of council?
Oh, outside of council? Currently,
Council's next week.
council meeting next Tuesday, next week, no other day.
And
Other meetings on Tuesday besides ours. CSC or something.
I'll be here on the 4th for the,
you're not back to the 17th. We give it a long time.
good for you.
So you're actually going to miss the next two council meetings, right? Zoom.
That's next two.
Okay.
I'll be here, but I'll be remote.
Okay, so you could, if we schedule them, you could do remote.
Yeah.
So I'm here Tuesday. Again, I can come other days, but to try to, watch the travel portion
Yeah.
of this, I'm here
So the only
26th, and then I don't come back until
the 4th.
the 4th.
Want to come in early Tuesday?
We could. Is there anything else going on Tuesday, Ashley? 26th.
No, because I was trying to schedule planning and zoning, but I couldn't get it for the 26th, so.
Okay.
We're getting to the point. We're getting to the point where we have a lot of boards and committees that are starting to meet on a regular basis. We're really going to have to sit down and have a schedule, because planning and zoning actually was supposed to be the first meeting of every month, and it's changed a little bit. We were trying to accommodate for the 26th, but there's other ones, so I want to make sure we have space to do these workshops as well. So
I mean, I'm okay with early on 26th. It's just we got council, so it might be might be a long day for everybody.
Have a break in between. Start early and
We could do that,
have a break in between.
or we could wait till the 4th and just do it separately, too. And that
I mean, I can-
can't do it.
at all.
I'm teaching all day.
26th, you can do it anytime.
I mean, I can't do it any time. I'm just telling you, I've got to move a business and I've got to sell a house.
Yeah.
I'm going to move all the furniture. It's pretty heavy.
Well, so council's at 6 on 26th. We don't have anything else currently, right? So, what time y'all think? You want to?
Are you saying Tuesday?
Yeah.
We could do.
I can
Were
come
you-
in
were you-
anytime.
I'm here. I can come anytime on Tuesday.
You want to do 1 o'clock
1 o'clock?
again, and then
Then we
one
can possibly maybe recess for.
1 to 4 or
Or could we do
whatever.
it earlier and then have a longer break in
Like,
between?
Come in the morning, and then you guys can go home and do whatever. I can work in my little cubby.
Yeah.
Up front, or kick Andy out of his office and work back in. Whatever works for you guys, though.
I mean, whatever works. Yeah, but
What's easy if you know? I don't know if that time of day matters. If you know,
just seem,
I don't know if it's going to be good. So.
I worry that if we come in at 1, we'll be here till the end of the meeting. The end of the
Well, no, we
council.
can always cut it off and schedule another session. I mean, there's no rush to get it done per se.
And
I
I've
think
said
we limit it to a couple hours.
yes.
Yeah.
Important thing is we want to do it once. That's the
What's
important
that?
thing. We just want to do it once. That's the
Do it
important
right
thing.
at the
Yeah.
That's my whole point. We don't have to rush through it.
Yeah, no, and I'd rather not because we get tired.
set a time block.
Yeah, why don't we do 1 to 3 and that gives us a 3-hour break between,
Okay. 1 to 3.
So that's
or 1 to 4 if you want to do 3 hours and then give you a 2-hour break. I mean, we're 3 hours now.
Or come in earlier if you want to. Whatever. It's fine with me either way.
I just don't want to go. I don't want to traverse lunch, so I'd rather do after lunch, kind of like we did.
okay.
Um,
That's fine.
so why don't we do 1 o'clock on Tuesday?
Till what time?
Let's say I say 3 or 4. Kind of play it by ear, but let's just do 4. That gives us a 2-hour break between councils. Is that enough? And hopefully we maybe get out a little before that. I'm trying to avoid having too many workshops, so we try to stretch the singles a little bit. But I think if we do another 3 hours, then if we don't finish up, it's probably just one more 3-hour session or less, and we'd be done. So I venture to say. Okay. Let me verify Lisa's good with that real quick.
Do we still have a 9 to 10? No, we don't. We're not doing that, right?
9 to 10.
On the 20th, we're not doing that.
So that you're doing that. That's your call. You're calling in for the scale.
Okay, so you're good for,
Yeah.
okay. And it's a workshop, so we don't need a seated quorum for that, do we, Nancy?
I'll verify.
Because there's no action.
Yeah, I'll verify that.
So you'll be gone, right? Or you'll be here for the 20.
We're talking about Tuesday, 26th?
Yeah.
I'll be here.
Okay, so you can sit here. You'll be here. I'll be here. Okay, we're good. Yeah, so you're good. You just may have to do remote, I guess. Right. Okay. Gotcha. Thanks. Bye. Okay. Good. Okay. So moving on to festoons, you were going to make it, talk to Veronica and kind of codify their practice.
Their practice, yes.
21, sandwich signs that do not meet the requirements of section 121-417. Is that referring backwards or that's forward?
Kind of, so we covered that really.
I'm not sure why that's there.
As 21, I'm sorry, 121 for, no, that may be a typo. Okay, hold on. You go to page, right above section 121-5. I don't know what page it is on here.
819.
There's a new sub 17.
That's page.
Right above one page, right above section 121-5.
121-5. That's page 22.
Yeah, so go up.
17. Yep. In non-residential zoning.
17. It talks about sandwich signs.
In non-residential zoning districts, one sandwich sign per business establishment having certificate of occupancy placed on the sidewalk no further than 5 feet from the main door. Okay, so that basically just tells them they can only have one, and they give them setbacks for it. So basically, no other sandwich signs other than that. So I think that's good.
And planning and zoning added that sentence in blue. The sign shall only be displayed during the operating hours for the business. Like when you close it for the night, pull it in.
Yeah.
Storm's coming, pull it in. That kind of thing.
Yeah, makes sense. Everybody go with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what was the other? Didn't we? Because in item number 3, you have signs other than sandwich signs placed on the sidewalk or curb. Couldn't you actually put that 121-49 reference and take out 12?
Very possible.
Not 12. I'm sorry. 21. Page 18 and 17.
So number
3
is saying you cannot have any signs other than sandwich signs on the sidewalk or curb.
And they must.
The other one is saying you can have a sandwich sign as long as it meets the requirement. I mean,
Well, no, it's saying you can't have any signs that don't meet the requirements. It says we're still in the.
Right, you cannot have a
Where-
sandwich sign that does not meet the requirements of. It is duplicative in the fact that there's another section that's specifically saying where the sandwich sign should be placed, but the section 121.3 is saying you can have it as long as you follow the requirements.
Right. Why? I mean, I don't understand why we have number 3 and number 21.
Because number 3 is encompassing more than that. It's saying it's not just talking about sandwich signs. Number 3 is saying you can't have signs on the sidewalk or curb other than a sandwich sign. So any other sign that doesn't meet that definition, you can't have.
Okay. So
Can we put sandwich signs together?
I was going to say you could put it together. You could make it one thing that's signs that are prohibited would be signs other than sandwich signs placed on the sidewalk or curb, and sandwich signs must meet the requirements.
that's what I'm suggesting. And take out 21. Just, I
Put them
mean,
together. That's absolutely
we could take one line out of this long,
Yeah,
arduous.
no, more. I get paid by the
Plus,
word.
if somebody is looking at the code and they see one section that applies to sandwich signs, they won't think to look further.
Well, exactly. You got to bounce
Yeah.
around to see.
That's,
But
that's why we confuse people, so they have to come see Veronica.
Job security for you,
No,
too.
for Veronica. But I like that. That's a good idea to put it together.
Thank you. Okay. And now, so this red stuff here was stuff we have to have in here.
Well, it's either stuff that is addressing the Supreme Court case or things that Rob has seen or recommends and is recommending.
Oh,
to
gotcha.
have. So,
Okay, I'll write them. Any sign nailed, fast, affixed to, hanging from, or painted on any tree or other vegetation part of the living or dead. Go. Can't do that. I'm good with that. You guys good?
Mhm.
Can't have any signs that obstruct, conceal, hide, or otherwise obscure from view any official traffic, other government signs, advice. Good with that. You guys as well. Off-site, off-premises commercial signs.
That would be you to put your business sign on Christine's property. That's an off-site sign. You can't do that.
But what if she allowed me to do that?
She's very nice.
She can't, not up there.
And why is that?
I don't think you can do that.
Off-site signage. Yeah, it's not allowed
That-
right now.
That would be similar to like a billboard or something.
There's
too,
no way billboards right now.
That's
And
off, that's considered
so that
off-site
brings up the
signage.
question of what
Bob was talking about.
Bob was talking about earlier, where you have one monument sign,
That's
right?
an off-site sign.
and you have Whiskey Joe's, and you have Hooters, and you have all of that
Mm.
signage.
So I
So, or prohibiting what Bob has
Right.
recommended.
I think it's, if you do it right, it would be nice to have that, but I understand you don't want someone promoting their business in front of publics either.
Well, yeah.
You could have
You can't
permission.
do that unless you have permission.
Your definition is sending it to a different provision of the code. So you can look at it.
The example is the WOD, though. That example is going to be a whole different schematic we're talking for the rest of the.
Well, potentially, it doesn't have to be. And it's another discussion.
I understand. I can see having that whole area built out down there and having a beautiful big marquee sign.
Yeah, here's all the good
Right.
stuff down here.
This is why you want to turn left into here and come down here and spend your money.
Have a little digital sign promoting what events we have going on that week or whatever.
Like a directional sign.
Yeah, that's the other thing. If we allow digital signs and they're flipping through slides or whatever, they might have Bob's widgets. They might have Christine's nicks or niches or
Easy.
uh,
Goes off the rails.
Andy's sweets. I like that one.
Andy Sweets.
India Sweet.
Carol's
Cupcakes.
Corner.
Who's cupcakes?
Chris's cupcake.
Chris's cupcakes.
Oh, I like Chris's chocolates better, but that's fine.
Okay, so billboard, off-site sign, or off-premises sign, that's all
Yeah,
included
all.
in this, means a sign, structure, advertising, an establishment, merchandise, service, or entertainment which is not sold, produced, manufactured, or furnished at the property on which the sign is located. And this is regulated by section 121.13 of the Land Development Code, which you have as part of this code, which looks to mostly just it's addressing billboards, but it's talking about what you can do with them.
Yeah, and I think the reason is you don't want to confuse people and think that here's Kohl's. Well, where's it at? Right. I guess that's
Right.
to make sure you direct traffic to the place you want to direct and not cause an issue. Gosh, how do you? I guess it's really in your definition of what's off-site, right? It may not necessarily be off your property. That might be within your
Well,
your area.
that is off-site, but yeah.
right.
Like you
It's off-site because it's not on your
you
property,
have a little
but
business
it may be
down
within your
Right.
zone.
How does the Naughty or advertise on 19?
So how can maybe look at language for how to fix that?
Explain what you want to fix, and I'll see if I can try to fix.
How does the naughty or
I don't know the
advertise
naughty
on
or, so-
19?
So it's down a side street. So it'd basically be like if we put something on Grand to kind of advertise the business down that Grand corridor, like Bob has a community sign there at the entrance or whatever in the future where you say naughty or dirty mullet.
A sign not controlled by the city.
I don't think it matters whether it is or isn't. It's right now. You can't have it. You'd have to actually turn down there and pass that. So it's almost like you want to allow them if it's within close proximity to where it doesn't cause confusion. It actually
If I
It
own
actually
the
clarifies.
business on the corner, I don't want my property being blocked up with signs for people that are 2 blocks
No.
away.
But you wouldn't have that unless you let. We're talking about if let's say I own the property on the corner.
Yeah.
and I want to put up a sign that the businesses down Grand could use to direct down there, and it's whether I rent the sign space to them, or it's
Is this more of a wayfinder thing? Well, we're
yes,
gonna-
sort of.
But then you say restaurants with an arrow pointing down there. This is a wayfinding thing we're getting ready to go through right now.
Well, wayfinders are more for the side streets.
Well, yeah, people are coming to look for a specific restaurant though, then they wouldn't. Yeah, it's just, you get
I think if you
GPS and all.
start loading up your main 19 with all the side street hustles, I don't know if that's really the right
If you're
thing to do.
allowing pole signs for every business, you're going to
What's
have.
that?
If you allow pole signs for every business,
Yeah,
down
but not
to
on 19. You're not. You're not putting audio or sign out on 19.
This, if you, depending on how you word this, is to let them do that. If they have permission to put it up somewhere
Yeah,
on
they-
site.
Right.
Right now they couldn't, but if you change,
I think it's written correctly, and I think we leave it like it is. My opinion. What's your thoughts?
I think people should be able to market their business as long as it's okay with the other business people, and it's in a. I mean, it
How about this? Not
should
with-
be in a nice, neat,
Sorry.
professional manner. Like I said, you can have one banner on one side of the road, you have another banner on the other side of the road, like on the bridge, and one up between Ridge Road and the Bayou District, and very nice professional signs with business. And you don't even have to put all the business on. You can just say district. Next three rights, or next right, Main Street, Port Richey. Like New Port Richey has a huge sign.
Yeah, there's a historic downtown. It's very general.
It's historic down. Yeah, so
It
you
sounds
can
more like a
you have
city.
something
But
like
that's a
that.
wayfinder thing.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
city wayfinding.
Draws people down there, then
Yeah,
they find
it's
what's
not-
down there. What's
That's a
down there.
wayfinder thing. That's not like here's Naughty Or and here's
Right.
the Crab Shack and blah blah blah. You're not sticking all their names out on the street there.
All right. But now I will say
I
that
like that idea. I think that's good to have
I
that
wish
like, turn,
I wish
downtown's this way.
people sitting out there so could tell us, give us ideas too.
Well,
They
right.
don't notice
I-
they've been here.
But I am a business person, and that's
well, if
So
you're
am I.
so
Except you.
think about your car lot, right? It's on 19, so you
I
don't have the
bought my
problem.
car
But think if
lot
you're
on
right
19
down.
for a reason.
Well, I get that, but let's say that you had that down Grand Boulevard right there past the corner that you don't have 19 exposure, but you're sitting up, and it's not just you, but it's a couple things, and like I said, people driving 19, they don't know anything's down that way. And if there was a ability to, it really would. I
don't even like
it's
where
what
it's going
Bob
with
says
it.
here.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be difficult because I can appreciate Bob's point of view, but putting other people's names out on the 19th Street for businesses that are off the beaten path is not what we're supposed to be doing right now. What we're supposed to be doing is creating a sign code that says here's what we're going to do, not create an opportunity for people to put signs out. If we're trying to clean up 19 and doing this is adding to that stuff.
Well, if you had a nice marquee sign in front of your car lot, and you had, like I said, the Cody River Landing next 3 exits, and it's a beautiful lit up palm trees, back blue black lit sign, and then you have all these businesses listed under it, and you're charging them $100 a month for that.
I wouldn't want any part of that.
You wouldn't want any part of
No,
that.
sir. No, I wouldn't want any part of that.
You got a billboard on your property now.
It's going to come down. It's eventually coming down. We've already inquired into that. They're going to be trading off, and I'll just share this with you. They're going to be trading off their stationary billboards to the state of Florida for one activated billboard. So they're going to do away with 10 to get one activated one. So where you see these flashing electronic LED billboards, the state of Florida is going to say, hey, if you take 10 down, we'll put one of those up. So I think ours will be one that's taken down.
What about something like this, notwithstanding the other provisions regarding off-premises signs, multi-tenant commercial or mixed-use developments or hidden businesses, we'd have to clean this up, may utilize off-premises directional signs for the purpose of guiding the public to the development and the businesses located within it. And it would be limited to directional information, located to proximity to the development, subject to design review and approval, and may identify multiple tenants. So it could apply to these multi-use tenant commercial mixed-use developments or one-offs like Crab Shack or Naughty Or, places like that where they're hidden locations.
So how about, who are the Apple Sisters? What's the name of their place?
Apple 6.
Apple 6. perfect example. There's a warehousing development. There's probably 7 businesses, and there are 8 businesses. You got a sign out front, it's marquee sign. It's got 7 or 8 businesses in it. But you're not going to take their sign and put it out on 19.
No,
That's not traffic oriented business. Those are basically services. So people call up on the phone. It's
says
like they're
located-
plumbers, electricians. It's different specific type services. But when you have businesses like an ice cream shop or sandwich shops and things like that, they're more traffic oriented.
I mean, people today are going right
They
here.
do.
Ice cream shops near
I
me.
agree.
You know what I'm
That's the
saying?
best,
They're not,
best source.
they're not dependent on that kind of. The kids are not going to be looking for signs anymore.
Well, I do know that people are on my street all the time looking for crab shack. For sure. That happens a lot.
Great business model. You can start selling crab sandwich from here.
I can get them right out of the
Sandwiches
river.
on Tuesday.
See, I can
But that
see
is a
$100
thing.
a
Like,
month
people,
sign there.
people are lost trying to find crab shacks. So there are places that are kind of exceptions.
Well, if they're like I said, if they'll put a pole sign up now in the property or whatever, that
Or roof sign. They got a
Help.
roof sign or a
There's
pole
other
sign.
options.
They see
Yeah,
it going
there are
over the
options.
bridge. That's not the problem.
it's kind of like,
Do they know to turn hard right and another right? No, they go down. They don't know which right to make once they get over the bridge to go there. They don't think it's right, the first right. They can't.
I
They
bet you I can
think it's
go in
whatever.
here and I can type crab shack in here and it would take me right there.
They'll take you to my house.
Yeah,
Well, get some crab sandwiches. And get it going.
Google. I don't trust Google for crap. I've got lost several times using Google. But it's you gotta, if they could have a sign on River Road, a Wayfarer sign, maybe that's something, or Wayfinder. I'm sorry, but they could have a Wayfinder sign, something like that.
Maybe that's an idea. Maybe as we look at this Wayfinder project, you know, if you have something going down Grand where there's a whole bunch of stuff happening, you put it on there. You know, food. This way, it's like getting off the highway. You know,
Well,
gas,
Wayfinder is supposed
food,
to help with that a lot.
gas, Shoney's, whatever it may be.
It just isn't going. It's not good for traffic on 19, but the side roads, yes.
do any cities that you know of have sign real estate that they help with that? And like,
I was actually trying to picture, like, 'cause I can picture being in cities where you have, like, you can tell it's their signs, you know, the design, the wayfinding
Right,
kind of
right,
thing.
right.
And if they're, and I feel like there are ones that do have specific, you know, restaurants or directions to certain places. So just based on that, I'm thinking yes, that there must be something like that. But I personally haven't had to deal with it, but I can find out. So that might be, because that way you're keeping that consistent look.
all right,
Right. The idea being, you know, at the certain corner with the city's Wayfinder stuff, it may say, what was when you mentioned crab shop,
Waterfront
Right,
restaurants,
yeah, you know,
riverfront
this way.
restaurants.
Here's
Something
your
like
right,
that, yeah.
but it's part of the cityscape and the same look versus different signs by different people,
Right,
off
true.
premises sign. It's gonna clutter. It's gonna not be
True.
a consistent look.
Yeah, I think
It's
if we
not
can-
what you want.
I
You
think if we
want-
control it,
yeah, I think that's what you're
I
you're
was in
envisioning.
Myrtle Beach, and we went over to Myrtle Beach for about a week, and we looked at different restaurants and this big wheel that goes around all, and had on their boardwalk.
Yeah.
Had address boardwalk.
Right,
Address
but that-
boardwalk.
yeah.
So we gotta find a board. Let's go down there. 3 lights is boardwalk. Next light boardwalk. Then boardwalk this way. and
So
it's
those
not
are
boardwalk.
Wayfinder
So you-
signs. Those
so
are
that was
Wayfinder
kind of,
signs.
well, there were actually really street signs, and there was a Wayfinder, but there was also a little marquee that had boardwalk in some park, the city park. Turn left, and
I think what you're
you
trying
knew
to
where
get to is
boardwalk
where
was
wayfinding.
driving down the road.
well, I
Look-
guess
look better.
and I guess if we say we had a marquee and we built it as we develop and we have some of these corridors with stuff like that we want to kind of move people around via the wayfinding project, that we could possibly have space on that we could actually list some of the major restaurants. And that would be something that we advertise revenue could come in as well. If we could lease those spaces out, and then we
You
would
can
control it.
always do, you know, waterfront shops, restaurants, that kind of stuff, and point it that way versus putting names on there and having to
Yeah, but I'm saying if we could if we wanted to, if we had, depending on
kind of like the highway, at least you sign space on the highway. They
Right.
say if you want your restaurant listed here, you got to pay us for it.
have a general restaurant down this way, and Catches wants to actually have their name there. Or let's use Crab Shack. That's a great example because they're kind of hidden back there. They could actually pay to have their name. Because like when you pull off the interstate, it shows like the gas stations and all that on those signs, but it didn't show everything there.
No.
But obviously, there's probably some kind of arrangement with the government that they get their McDonald's on that sign. So something similar to
You
that.
always know where Bucky's is, that's for sure.
That's right.
But then
Yeah,
you
Mrs.
got
Bucky's, they take up the whole
you
place.
got McDonald's.
So-
we want a breakfast sandwich. Oh, there's a McDonald's here. It's all
So I think leaving us in here is okay because if we decide to do something like that, that'd be a government sign and it would be exempt. So we can have that. That's any sign in or over. This is the other thing I saw. Any sign in or over the public right of way other than government signs or warning safety signs. So this goes back to that one thing where it said you couldn't overhang 18 in the
it'll be
sidewalk or wherever. That's in the public right of way. So I don't know why.
it'll be far enough off the road.
Newport Richey signs over a government road, right? That's a government sign. Exactly.
Other than government sign, but it's saying you can't have a sign in or over the public right of way, but above that it said you could have it overhang like 18 inches. Yeah, projects.
Some of these signs were put in place before the road line. They widened the road, not the sidewalk, and it overlaps the sidewalk maybe.
So what I'm saying, when I highlighted D above, it said projects in excess of 18 inches over a dedicated public street, alley, sidewalk, or private or public roadway. It seems like right down here it negates that because you can't have it over a public right of way. That makes sense.
I see what you're saying. I'm
So when you look at D, which I highlighted, look at 20,
I'm gonna look at them when I'm not as tired.
25.
Yeah, we're all starting to see sideways right about now.
Yeah, we're almost done here. 26, pavement markings except official traffic control marks and street addresses applied by government agencies or pursuant to government laws and regulations. The only thing on here, I'm assuming there's several people that went around, they had their address numbers out in front of on their road curb
Yeah.
numbering. That's okay, I'm assuming. But it says except official and street addresses. But it says applied by government agencies or pursuant to government laws and regulations. So I don't know what government laws and regulations.
I think there's regulations about size and how big the numbers.
It's specified. Okay, gotcha. Okay, perfect. So I think that's probably okay. Any sign, number 27, any sign which is designed to approximate, mimic, or emulate an official government sign, including official stop signs posted on or above any street or right of way. Okay, good. Signs that emit sound, vapor, smoke, odor, particles. I think that's good, unless it's with ADA.
And number 29, I thought was just cutting in. I'm tired now too. I thought it was interesting the first time I read it because apparently that was an issue somewhere. So
Yeah,
it's about
somebody was actually
29.
putting real food out on
I
their
guess
sign.
so. Talks about birds.
So anyway, so I think
Trying
that's.
to contain food or substance that attract large numbers of birds or other animals. I read that and I'm like, really?
I love that backstory.
I know.
Unless they were just preparing for some.
I mean,
crazy-
unless you're hunting, you're putting food out there to.
You
Yeah.
know, you gotta get the deer, right?
30 signs that are not effectively shielded as beams of raised light from being directed at any portion. I think all that's okay. We don't want any distractions. 31 commercial mascots. Okay, this is one that I want to talk about. So this is when you get the guy out there that's doing the firehouse subs, and
Or the guy
Well, on
that's
the
got
sign.
those leggings on that does his thing down here in Hudson. You know what I'm talking
right, yeah. So we're outlawing that, I guess, and that's something new.
New language.
Yeah, because we allow it now.
I mean, during tax season, you don't want to have the person dressed in the Statue of Liberty stand up there saying, "Come do your taxes."
You say you don't, or you?
I mean, what's wrong with that?
There's a guy
Well,
around
so
here.
you-
There's a guy
what's
around
wrong
here
with
that's
it,
right?
famous
That's what I'm
for
wondering.
it,
Yeah.
and I'd hate to eliminate him
Whoever
from our
that is
community.
came out
Yeah,
of
the dude stands there. He's
Yeah,
like, he's
talked
got his
about
legs all spread like this.
Yeah,
and
he's
And they
crazy.
talked about the different places.
Looks
you
like
can
David
find
Lee
them.
Roth.
Leopard spandex.
Yeah, definitely before. So we're going to. We
I mean, that dude's
can't be
famous
here.
worldwide, man. We're trying to cut him out of Fort Richey.
It's recommended language. It's
But
you guys
it's-
like the guy on the side of the road. I personally
Well,
don't like
here's the thing. It allows. I mean, you get all these demonstrators out there. That's all fine and dandy, but a business can't have. I mean, I think if you're paying somebody to wave a sign out there, you got to be able to do it.
I'm gonna get that guy to come down and do $500 down payments, man. He's been flipping signs. Right?
Please do.
Because technically, he
Please
could
do.
put a T-shirt on that says "Eat at Joe's" and just stand out there. You can't stop that.
Right.
Or you can have on his car parked there. You can't eat at Joe, but if he's out there actually waving a sign, actually that's what they're trying
It
to do.
depends on where he's parked.
Yeah,
I
I think
believe.
some communities don't. It's the distraction.
Right.
So some communities
Right.
don't like. Some don't like the look of it, obviously, but some don't like the idea
How
that's
about jet ski
distracting.
rental? You know,
I
some
don't
guys
think
out there, jet ski rental.
If you like it, leave it. Or
Yeah.
I mean, remove this. If you-
Catches 12 oysters for $12, whatever, something like that.
It doesn't bother me.
It doesn't bother
Allow
me either.
people to,
Take it out.
yeah, it doesn't,
I think it takes
yeah,
it
I think
It's gone.
And we're creating jobs. So not only are we reducing regulation, we're creating
We're
jobs.
encouraging people to get to work.
I think his name's John. You're welcome to come to Port Richey.
That's right.
Yeah, tell Johnny, come down here now, yeah.
Number 32, any sign located on real property without the permission goes without saying, right?
That's, yeah.
33, obscene signs that meet the definition of city and Florida statutes. Obviously, good. And then projected light signs. Now that's, what exactly does that?
Yeah, what does that mean?
Because all the
Shines
lights
a light.
projected.
It's shining a light like kind of like a beacon, but it's got like lights to shine out, not light up, but shine out. Like a
I mean, the
headlight beams on.
interpretation there could be pretty broad.
Yeah.
Well,
Are you looking for?
Yeah, I was looking, he did not define it, so there's a couple of definitions in the back of this. Here it is. Projecting sign is any sign which is attached to or which projects from the outside wall of any building or structure, excluding wall signs.
Boy, that was nothing.
Wall signs?
Projecting sign means any sign. Well, that's a projecting sign. It's not projected light sign.
Oh, well, that's all we have. So,
Well, if you think about a projector, how it projects light out. So if
Right.
the sign projected light out like a projector does.
Oh, like on the
then-
side of a
then
building.
it would
if
be a
you're
problem,
projecting from something
Right.
to like
Yeah.
the Christmas lights.
Like
Like
the
the
Christmas-
There you go, there you
That's a
go, yeah.
projected
Uh-huh.
Right.
light sign.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I think
that makes
that's
sense.
a definition.
projects from an outside wall with the light projecting out. Yeah.
Mhm.
As long as we're not talking about any type of.
So
Because
we-
honestly, that's projecting light out to us.
No. We're talking about turning the lights off, getting over here with one of those things and projecting up
Projecting
there.
a light.
Right.
We're gonna get to digital next time.
Projected light sign.
So if it projected,
Can we clarify that?
Bob's
Nancy, can you put that
bagels
clarification?
I think
onto the
you
wall.
should take it out.
What, now that you said it, let's take
And,
it
and let me ask, because down at the in Newport Richey at the social, now they don't. I don't know if they do signs per se, but they always they project
The game.
the games and stuff on that building out there with a projector. It's not a sign, I guess, because it's actually
sign would be
it's a movie.
advertising.
Well, I think that that's going on to a building. I think this idea is coming off.
Nope, it's not.
I think you should take it off unless it's a
Projects
light
from the
shoot.
shoot. even
outside
need it.
wall.
Right.
I
no.
think get it off too.
Can we
I
cross
agree.
that
take
out?
it off.
Completely, yeah.
That's 3 out of 4.
yeah, take it out.
Done, gone.
Take it out.
And then finally, notwithstanding any provision contrary, neither the city council nor any board may grant a variance allowing the erection of any of the prohibited signs expressly enumerated in this section. And that is why it's important that we don't
Right,
just
get it
have
right.
practice doing something that's actually against it, because code says you can't do that. So anyway, I think that's a great stopping
The
point.
reason for that is the variance is for hardships, right?
Right.
If you don't allow it, it's not a hardship that you want it.
Mhm.
That doesn't, so that's the idea.
Right.
All right, so if we can make a note, Ashley, that we're going to pick up the next sign at section 121.4 on page 19. Okay, what's that? Okay, and so I'm going to recommend that. So that's we'll close out of number 1 for now.
Question for you though. Are we, for the next stop, should we just keep the Port Richey sign code, or do you want me to include Waterfront?
I'm going to keep rolling. I was going to ask for that we table the item number 2 until then just roll it to the next meeting.
Put it into the workshop for the 26th? That's what I was asking.
Yes, we may or may not get to it,
Okay.
but go ahead and leave it in there.
That's fine.
Going together.
Yeah, just keep
I'll
rolling
keep it
till we
all
finish
together.
these two things. All right, so is everybody good with that? And then is real quick comments from the mayor, city council. I'll start with Vice Mayor. Mayor, you have any comments? Councilman Hubbard? Councilwoman Sullivan? I have nothing as well. If that's the case, I'll open up for a motion for adjournment.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.
A motion second, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.